Patrick
Good
Day?
evening, Krypton fans. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody. Even you,
He-
Jeffrey.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
We got a what I'm gonna already deem a comical slash interesting slash Lord knows what's going to happen show. So
It's New Year's Eve.
Yep.
New Year's Eve.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, we. I was a little concerned about getting going here tonight because we just had some big storms roll through here. Fortunately, nothing too dramatic. Down south of us, though, they were under some tornado warnings. So, but we got plenty of rain, plenty of wind. Jeff's still here. He didn't get washed away. So,
No floating.
Like a new addition, Jeff.
he's going to be a challenge tonight. I can see this already. But anyway, he's being way too quiet. He's already yawning. So, folks, get ready. But anyway,
It's Jeffrey Yawnington.
Yawning.
Go. Wow.
Wow.
Oh boy.
We got another name now. Ronington.
Yeah.
How's David Blaylock?
Hey, he's pretty good tonight, I heard.
By the way, when I have you on the main thumbnail as Bernie Bunyip, you're supposed to come in as Bernie Bunyip, not David. Oh, you know that. So now it's pick on David night, but anyway.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little
brother.
A little slow.
Okay. Wow, 43 comments. I just looked over there and it said 9. Chat is flying. We appreciate everybody
It's
being
flying.
here. This show blows my mind week after week after week. We're having fun. We're not boots on the ground all the time, people, because I don't have time. Jeff don't have time. David's probably our main boots on the ground guy who's always out in the wild, but our day's coming, Jeff. We're going to be out there goofing around a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna be in June. They're having that Bigfoot festival up in Forest County,
Yes.
and my girlfriend's wanting to go, so I guess.
Cool. Yeah, I have a couple of
I'll be-
invites to go up there too. So, but
Well-
that's a bad time of year for me. So,
Yeah, Mary Fabian said she's gonna be there speaking, so
yeah,
I'll get to see some of them while I'm there.
yeah. If it's not prior to spring or super late fall, it's tough for me to get away on a weekend, but because of pulling. But anyway,
And I haven't talked to you later, Jerry, but she's got something coming up.
yes, I've already talked to her. Yeah, I've
Oh, you
talked to her.
have? Okay,
Yeah.
she sent me a message.
I got a whole list of stuff from her, but absolutely. 31 only 31 watching, but boy, chat sure is flying. John and Phyllis,
Yes.
Hello,
good
hello.
evening. Welcome back.
Thank
you,
you.
guys. Look, no
Yeah,
echoes,
we can
no
hear
feedback.
you, and y'all can hear us, and it's a
Amazing.
miracle.
We're already
We got
talking
this.
everything up. This is going to be funny. That's all good, man. We're going to have fun tonight. And, I know you have something to share from Flat Rocks and some things flying through the air that don't begin with a D. And that you want to discuss. I know this is an old story, but I'm going to just thank everybody for being here again tonight. Enjoy the chat. Like I say, this, I've always wanted to start this channel. I've got another channel that keeps me busy, and it's a full-time job over there. But
I watched that the other night. That was cool. But
awesome.
I don't
Thank
know.
you.
I don't know when you come on. It doesn't notify me.
Thanks, Chad.
You got to be subscribed and ring the bell to get notified. But
I am.
are you really? Well, we haven't had a show. This is 2 weeks now because
Okay. But that mini pulling thing, that was cool.
keep pulling. Yeah,
That was
Yeah,
interesting. I've
Thank you.
never seen that
Oh, the
before.
mini pulling. Yeah.
Yeah, the mini
That's
pool was
fun.
cool. That was the first time I watched that.
They actually
That
do
was
it on
cool.
dirt. They have them where they're actually down on a dirt track doing it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure there's all sorts of catastrophes there with that.
Well, he's getting ready.
Even the tabletop guys can run off the table. I've seen it happen. I've seen sled and everything go. So, oh yeah, and that sled gets heavy in them bigger classes.
You watch that little electric motor just.
Yeah,
Smoke and that was really interesting. I've never seen anything like that. You know,
That's for
I
sure.
remember the Pinewood Derby with my kid when he was in Scout.
Exactly.
So, folks, we're gonna. This will
Without
be
a school.
a pulling show tonight. So, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but we started this channel. As soon as Jeff and I got to talking on the telephone, I was like, "Hey, man, let's start a channel. We'll start a channel." And of course, he was all for it. It's more to learn, and I've learned more and more by the week. So, we had great people on here, even the local people. They're tough to get on here, but the ones that have been on here, I've been very fond of. They've done a real good job, told some great stories. I say told great stories, but they're actual happenings, and I believe them. But that's why we started this channel, because I know there's other people out there that say we don't do anything. Well, that's not quite true. I mean, we're here to learn, as everybody is. So, but our days
Weird stuff happens to me if I just go camping. So
yeah, exactly. Same here. Same here. You know, I mean,
Most of the time it's what not to do. Oh dear, what not to do.
No, not to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they get twisted my arm hard enough last week to put my photo up, which I swear I would never go public with, but I did. And surprisingly, I had good, and I had one person that couldn't see anything, and Jeff and I had that conversation. And I'm not picking on the guy, okay, by no means. There's Elaine Schatz. Thank you for being here last week, Elaine. And he's blind in
Some
one
people
eye and
just
hard
don't
to see
see
out of the
stuff.
other. He said. I said, "Oh, okay." You know,
Some people just don't see things.
Yeah.
And but
They-
you know, Gary and I have talked about this. People see, I've gotten so many pictures from people that I can't see shit in. Nothing.
And
Of course,
even the red circle doesn't help me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I still can't see it.
I have pictures that I did and did red circles. I'm saving them for that one time that Spencer says something that just really gets and I'm going to hammer him with them.
Well,
I'm kidding, Spencer.
I still got to hand it to Elaine. She caught that one in my picture at
Yes.
Hidden Valley that I never even.
Yeah, and I actually picked that up right away.
I didn't even look at it. I was just taking pictures and showing her where I was.
Yep.
And I go stop in the bar to eat dinner, and I'm sitting there at the counter, and she sends me a picture, and I'm like, I thought she was talking about something I sent her a picture of before. And she's like, no, this one. And I'm staring at it, and I damn near spit my beer out.
Yeah. I was like, that's
Hillary's
fun.
a
That's a good
hoot.
one, Hillary. That's
Hillary's
great.
a hoot.
And chat back, Spencer who? Absolutely.
That's right.
We love Spencer. What would we do without Spencer, right? But anyway.
That's right.
All right, this show's about John and Phyllis. So
Yep.
we're gonna get ready to turn everything over to them real quick. And I don't care what you start with. You can tell your happenings most
Yeah.
recently, and
Go
then I know
into
she has a UFO story. So
well, when we first got together, I would listen to some Bigfoot stories on YouTube. But that's how I sleep. I have a documentary in the
Sasquatch
background,
Chronicles.
and
I know them all by heart.
so she would we'd sit on the couch and we'd be listening to this for a while, and she got interested in it. So that's kind of how we got into the Bigfoot. But we also watched some Sawdust Beast and stuff, and these people are just like the nicest people in the world. It was just amazing that we
Yep,
came
great
across.
group.
And then we go to the meet and greet, and you got 110 people in the campground, and they all got along. Everybody had a great time. Everything was picked up the end. It was super nice. And we met so many nice people. And now we have hundreds of friends we just can't believe.
Yeah.
So
People we feel closer to than the people we know in real life. It's like it. I mean, of course, we've met a lot of them, like at the meet and greet. But like you guys, we haven't met you, and I haven't met you three. But I still feel close to you. And it's like it's such a family that it's hard to put into words. Just that meet and greet was one of the most awesome things I've ever done in my life. I had one of the best times of my life that weekend.
Yeah. So I guess it's going on 5 years ago now. I was driving to Jackson, Mississippi, out from the coast. It was a 167-mile trip, and had to be there at 8 in the morning. So we had to leave at like 5 in the morning. It was dark when we left.
What in the hell is going on?
My dog. Hold on. I'm
Oh, it's a
mute.
dog. Okay.
Oh, the dog. Like, I was fixing to mute. I was looking at my phone, like, okay, what the heck?
I was thinking that had to have been a squeaky toy.
Oh, okay. Is that what so I'm on the road to Jackson, and we had to be there for a doctor's appointment at 8 in the morning, and it was still dark, and got up to just before we got to Hattiesburg, and just outside of Wiggins by Camp Shelby, Brooklyn, Mississippi. Actually, it was real early. It was just first light. I'm tired. It's February, so it's cold as crap outside. There's still a little bit of a haze and frost on the ground, and it's first light. And about 200 yards in front of the vehicle, something shoots out of the woods, runs from right side of the road to the left side, and it moves so fast that I could barely keep up with it with my eyes. And it was like cinnamon brown and shaped like a human. I went, I don't know what I just saw, but I think I'm hallucinating. I need coffee. So, and I looked over to a passenger with me, and I said, "Did you see that?" And of course, they were still asleep, so they missed everything. But the thing about it is that I said, "I need coffee," and I never did stop for coffee, and I forgot all about that event happening. Totally, really. And then one day, I was watching Sasquatch Chronicles, and Terry Arnold was on there, and I recognized the accent from Mississippi. And he starts telling about the story that came from Mississippi. And I'm like, you kidding me? There's Bigfoot down here? And then all of a sudden, my brain started going back into the files and said, you saw one. You saw one. I'm like, holy crap, I guess I did. And I put it away. It's something that happened 5 years ago, and I didn't even think, that I even saw one. So, you're talking earlier when people see things and, you red circles, you can look at it. Somebody can say, yeah, I see a Bigfoot. The other person says, I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know what I'm seeing. So that's kind of what we happened to us at Flat Rocks. We see it, but we can't believe we're really seeing
I
it.
know. That was
We'll
really.
get into that story in a little bit. But so anyway, that's when I started thinking, there's Bigfoot down here. And then we got on with Sawdust Beast, and then of course got on with the Woodwalkers and these guys here, and just we know so much more now than we did 2 or 3 years ago when we didn't have a clue, And for me, it's just, well, I knew they exist because they were up in Washington, I mean, the Patterson Gimlin film was real, but that's all I thought, that they were just in the Northwest.
Tell me about your trip up there where you went out.
I had a little scary event. Once again, had no idea what I was doing, and we had a trip up to Washington State and staying with my father-in-law. We're going skiing. He lived up in the mountains in a chalet. I mean, it was spruce forest, really nice, beautiful area. Well, I knew that's where Bigfoot existed, but I didn't know anything about looking for him. So one afternoon, I said, I'm going to take a little hike behind the cabin, walk down the side of the mountain a little bit, walk around, maybe run into a Bigfoot. So we left by myself, crazy, no gear, nothing at all. It's in the afternoon, and I didn't want to get too far, but I probably got 100 yards from the cabin, and there wasn't no trail or anything. And a feeling came over me like, you don't need to be here. You should turn around and go back. And it was the worst feel of dread I've ever had in my life. And I was scared to death. And I turned around and I hauled back to the cabin and never went back out. And I don't recall if I ever said anything to anybody about that, but it was just really weird. And apparently there's a possibility, in my opinion, that I was walking into somebody's territory and that they didn't want me there.
I don't know.
So that was the only other possible encounter. That didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for that story. Phyllis is going to do a first story.
We're going to change David's name to Squeaky.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as fast as I can on the mute.
It's no big deal.
That's your
I don't
dog.
think anybody's going to get upset
That's the
over
dog.
That's my min pin doing it.
Is that Peanut?
Peanut.
Yeah.
Give Peanut a peanut.
I know.
That's cool.
And what's funny?
Well, I have a UFO story. when I was 10 years old, we had this big Girl Scout camp thing on Lake Monroe in Aberdeen, Mississippi. And we'd all gone to bed, we'd done all our stuff all day. Well, I don't know what time it was, but sometime during the night, 12 girls from different troops, different tents, different everything, we all get up and walk out of the tent. And over the lake, there's this huge UFO object with like iridescent lights going around under the bottom of it. And we just stood there. I mean, we weren't scared. We weren't anything. We just stood there staring at it, And I don't know. I don't know how much time went by, anything really, But the minute it went away, we started screaming and hollering for our troop leaders,
So being a UFO investigator, so how far from where you were standing did you think it was? 100 yards?
I think it was
Football field away?
No, it
50
was
feet
close.
away?
It was close. It was like right down
And then
over the lake.
So how far above your head was it? Like how altitude?
I don't know distances. Treetop, maybe.
Okay, we're looking at treetop. And then you said how long was it?
I don't know how long.
So y'all were standing there kind of like paralyzed.
We were like paralyzed.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything. And it was, the thing is how could 12 girls out of all these different troops and tents,
we were the ones
chosen to go out there and look.
In our opinion, that's probably what happened.
Yes, what I think.
So when
I don't know if I was abducted. I don't think I was because I have no memory of anything like that. But the minute it lifted, it hung over, it was really close. It was really close.
Yeah.
But the minute it lifted up and went away, we started squealing and hollering for our troop leaders. Nobody believed us. Nobody ever believed us. We talked about it among ourselves for a few years.
So let me ask you a question. So after that, y'all squealed.
You didn't interview me?
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing here because they want to know. We want to know. So after it flew away and they were squealing enough and then you talked to, did you feel like kind of like a little bit of daze, like you weren't sure what was going on, a little daisy?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go into that later.
Did it make any sound or anything like that?
No.
Just lights.
Just lights. It was just these really weird swirling, you know what I mean? Iridescent, like purple, green, all kind of colors, and they were just swirling
Was
underneath.
the craft a solid object or was it more like a plasma field?
It looked solid,
Solid.
but underneath it had those
Did it have a
lights.
metallic look to it or more of a, you can't tell.
All I
just the
remember
lights.
is the lights.
That's pretty spooky over the lake. Congratulations, you're an abductee.
Now we know why I'm so weird.
I don't know.
Me too, Phyllis.
Yeah, brother.
So I guess last time we were trying to chat with somebody, I deemed her the ambassador to Bigfoot. Did y'all hear about that? She is the ambassador to Bigfoot.
No, I don't remember hearing about that.
No.
Okay.
No, do tell, please.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to get to that too. That's all about Flat Rock's property there.
Yep.
Okay.
So you want me to tell?
So we got invited to Flat Rocks, and I will let her tell the story.
And I was terrified to go. He said I asked him about hotels in the area, and he goes, "Oh no, I have a spare bedroom. You can stay here with me." And I told John, "No way are we staying there because I saw Angie in there.
Be right back, guys.
Bud's story, I'm like, I'm not doing this." But so we go and we drive up there, and as soon as we pull in his driveway, I hear a whoop, and it was just really weird because I wasn't scared anymore. I was calm. I told John, I'm okay, stay in here. I walk into Flat Rock's house, I lay my phone on his counter. I go to his back door. I look out the back door and I see this face staring back at me. It's like, I thought it was the grass man because it had all the grass, like it had like grass over it. And, you know, I'd seen a show about the grass man. And I thought, and John came in. I'm like, come here. You know, is that what we see? Do you see that? And he's like, yes. And we're both standing there like, you know, oh my Lord, we hadn't been there 5 minutes even, you know. And it was so later when John went and checked it out, what it was, he had taken this grass thing and pulled it open like that and stuck his face through it. When we got up the next morning and there was nothing there, we were pretty freaked out. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, we were like, you know, oh my Lord. But
Absolutely.
we went hiking that night and we've got a lot of audio. We had our video camera, and we're back there, and John doesn't hear as good as I do, but we're back there, and I hear these footprints running toward us, and Flat Rock goes, okay, we need to get out of here right now. But I still wasn't scared. And I'm a coward when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know. I was so calm that whole time. It was like, Gary said some of them calm you down. So I guess I met one that calmed me down. But John did hear the stick break, but Flat Rock felt like we were being bum rushed. So he's like, we got to get out of here. But I really didn't want to go. But I respected his property and his wishes because he has to live there, you know, but I wasn't scared at all.
So, okay. I'm going to start from, and I'll add to what you have. So we're driving in. It's little over with a 2 or 3 hour trip, 2 hours, 2 hours and 14-minute trip in. And once we got off the main road and started going down these dirt roads and got closer to Flat Rock's property, we got within about, I don't know, 2 blocks from where you turn in this driveway. And I looked at Phyllis and I said, there's heaviness in this air. There's heaviness in the air. It's just kind of creepy, but it wasn't scary. It's just heaviness. And I don't know how else you can explain it.
You get
So anyway,
the feeling, the presence.
yeah, you know, it's just, there's something here. So when we drove in the driveway, and like she said, the dogs are barking, we're hearing whoops and stuff, and there's 3 different properties till we got to his driveway, and we pulled up. And like I said, I wasn't expecting anything. You know, people go out and research Bigfoot all their life and don't even have an encounter. Or maybe they hear something far off in the woods that's so faint they can't tell the difference between that and an animal, you know, a coyote. But like I said, we came in, he greeted us at the door, we walked in the door, and she went to the back door, and she's waving me over. She says, come over, look at this. And I looked out the back door and I said, I see what you're seeing. I got a face with 2 eyes looking through this brush looking at us. And it did not move. It stood still for probably 2 hours.
No blinking. It was like gray slate talk.
Yeah, it was a silver gray face.
Yeah.
But it looked like it looked like an alien, but it had round eyes, just jet black eyes. Anyway, and it's about 40 yards, I'd say 40 yards, maybe 30 yards to the end of where the tree line started, and then another 10 yards behind that where but it had to have had a little spot back there where he stood and looked at Flat Rock's property all the time. But anyway, so you're wondering why no pictures. Flat Rock's in the kitchen cooking dinner. You know, he's 20 feet away. We never called him over there to say, hey, come look at this.
It was weird. I never thought about taking a picture.
I looked at her and said, never thought about taking a picture. But for us, it wasn't about proving it to anybody else. We were there just to get, you know, to experience and maybe possibly see one ourselves. That's what it was really about for us. We were up there for the experience, and oh boy, did we. So after that, you know, we never did mention it, Flat Rock. So he took us for a little tour around his property, showed us where all these other events happened. And we'd gone out the back door, and I kept looking over there, but I didn't see anything. We went down this little trail, and sure enough, we got about, I don't know, 20 yards out from his driveway, and we heard a whoop in the woods. And I looked at Flat Rock. He looked at me. He goes, "Yeah, that's what that was." So we walked back around. We came back inside, ate dinner. We looked again. It was it daylight then or dark then? It was dark, so you couldn't see what was out there behind the doorway. But that thing stood there for 2 hours.
Never moved.
Never moved. Didn't blink.
Didn't move.
So we ate dinner, and they said, "All right, you ready for a little adventure?" And so we got the cameras. That's when we pulled the cameras out of the boxes.
Got our Gary sticks out.
Got our Gary sticks out. He got Boo on a leash, and we got the camera on. We went down the trail, and we were just yapping, talking, having a good old time.
Yapping.
And
me yapping. He said he's going to have to edit
he had
the audio because I'm yakking.
yeah,
Imagine that, guys.
I have the camera on Boo, and Boo stops, the dog. He stops, starts staring off this one spot.
He doesn't bark.
Doesn't
though.
move, doesn't bark. And Flat Rock said, "Well, anytime there's one coming around, he barks." Okay, so I was waiting for the dog to bark. Never barked. So 10 seconds later, my hearing's not all that good. So I didn't hear anything. And everybody stops. And then all I heard is crash, like a snap of a branch. And that's when he looked at me. He goes, it just came running up to us, probably about, I don't know.
I don't know either, but
I can't tell how far away.
He said it bum rushed us.
40 feet
and
away,
I was
50
like,
feet away, ran up in the woods to us.
But I
and
still
stopped.
wasn't
And then-
scared.
I wasn't scared either. I didn't want to
We
leave.
weren't scared. We didn't want to go.
We
but,
didn't want to leave. I wanted to get closer. But
Yeah.
Flat Rock says, no,
Yeah.
he said in
And-
his opinion,
yeah,
it was
he
best to
knows,
leave.
and he knows we don't.
And we said, okay, you say it's time to go, we're going to go. So we,
And
we
then
got back.
I have insomnia. I never sleep. I sleep 2 hours at a time. He's got a spare bedroom with this air mattress in it. Nice high air mattress. I get on that dang thing and I slept the entire night. I did not. I mean, it was weird. It was really weird.
So she slept. I laid there the whole night going, what we saw out the back window, if it's there in the morning and it's just a trick of light, a shadow, it's okay. But if it's not there in the morning, this is going to be crazy. So sure enough, we both jumped out of bed. We ran to the back door, and it wasn't there. And I'm telling you what, the hair on my arm stood. It was a
It wasn't there.
son of a gun. That thing was real.
And you go out there and there's just that hole that it's like it pushed the grass and the stuff and just
So it had a viewing board.
it
It
stuck
had-
its face in there. All it did was stick its face through there.
Yeah.
And it was probably 8 feet.
Well, there was so
7
much
or 8
brush that I
feet.
couldn't get down to it to see if there was footprints. I could get about maybe 10 yards away from it, but I couldn't actually get around to the back of it. There was just so much brush. But on a good day, when I guess I have, something I could climb over and work my way in there. But I asked Flat Rock, I said, I bet you that thing comes up there and watches him cook dinner.
I bet it does. I mean, it didn't just make that for me and John, I'm sure. It probably goes up there and watches Flat Rock.
Oh.
I mean, and his brother and them, they've had so many experiences out there. It's like,
I asked Flat Rock the next day, I said, on an afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, will you take a picture of that out your back door, with the lights in the same, way, just to I was still double thinking, like, no, this can't be. Anyway, he did. He took a couple pictures and sent them to me, and I'll send you those, and you can actually see where the little blind was set up, where this thing was standing there,
Yeah.
and the little spot where his face was. Sure enough. Yeah, I meant to send that to you before the show.
So basically, it made a spot for it to watch them.
A little observation spot.
Yeah.
But it was really hard to tell because the terrain was so rough and he was so far back in there. I couldn't tell how tall he was. But if we go back, when we go back, we're
going back. We're going back,
So
definitely.
was the blind tall enough where he could stand up, or was he?
Yeah,
It's hard to tell if he was standing or
yes, he
sitting.
was standing. I think
Okay,
he was
I'm
standing.
pretty sure he was
How
standing.
tall do you think the blind was?
I think he's like 7 foot,
Somewhere-
6, 7 foot at least.
It's just because it was on a slant slope going down and back up the next backside. It's just hard to say. It had to be somewhere around.
But like I said, I thought it was the grass man because he had pushed that grass out of the way and had his face sticking through there.
Yeah, all
It
we
looked
saw
like
was
a
this,
grass,
much of
the
his face.
grass man.
I didn't see its mouth. I didn't see the top of its head, and I didn't see any ears. But I just saw two eyes, the cheeks,
And-
and the big nose.
Big
But
nose.
it had a not a flat nose, more of like a Roman nose, actually. Yeah, but the cheeks were shiny, and it was a silver gray. It was
Yeah.
charcoal gray.
Charcoal,
So-
silvery gray.
Anyway, I went flipping through, pictures. We
We
got
found
back,
one
and,
close to
and I
it.
said, "Son of a gun!" Stabila Irwin, she had done a drawing for somebody that encountered a Bigfoot in British Columbia, and I said, Stabila, can I borrow this picture? Because I said this is exactly the color of what we saw right here. Sure was silvery gray.
There's a lot of reports of silver gray skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably why we didn't think what we saw in the beginning was what we saw, because, I didn't expect to see one. I've heard about the Alabama white thing, but, like I said, we were just up there to have fun and experience the experience, maybe get screamed at, yelled at, howls. We got the whole Disneyland, package, man. It was great.
That's awesome.
Fabulous.
Wow.
Questions?
Wow. Yeah. Any questions? Put them over here. We'll.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people talk about the
But like I
feeling.
said, when we first saw it, we never thought about taking a picture because we really didn't believe what we were seeing. And to us, we didn't really want to prove it to anybody else because we was just there for us to understand. But that's why I call her the Bigfoot ambassador, because I think he came up to greet us. Who goes out on their first Bigfoot expedition and 5 minutes into the event, we're there. He comes up to say hi. That's just crazy.
Obvious
Crazy.
hotspot.
Unpopular.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
likes
Jerry.
you.
Sounds like somebody's letting the fireworks off early.
Oh, really? Over there?
Oh yeah.
It hasn't started here. Rob.
Kind of quiet here right now. It was bad a while ago.
I'm not 100% sure those are fireworks. I think somebody might be testing a new rifle.
Yeah.
Ours was gunfire, because now that it got dark, I don't hear it. So if it was fireworks, they wait till it gets dark and then
Yeah.
they play it off.
Yeah.
Usually.
Our neighbor got a new shotgun, and he's out there playing around when he gets off work.
That might be.
Could be. Could you? About how far away was the face?
It's right about 40 yards.
Yeah.
Right at 40
Yeah.
yards. I think it was about 30 yards to the tree line, and it was about 10 yards back into the brush.
It was so cool because, women, we don't know distances and stuff because men lie to us so much. And so, you know what I mean? So when we were at the fire pit, that guy, what was his name? Eric. That guy sitting over there, his name is Eric. He asked me how far away it was. And I said about 40 yards, maybe. And he said, so that would be to here to the edge of that building. And I said, yeah. He goes, that's about 40 yards. I'm so proud of myself. It's like,
Nice.
we did a distance.
Nice.
Could you make out like a brow ridge across above the eye?
Obviously, we saw part of the forehead,
Yeah.
but I don't think it had like a heavy brow ridge, honestly. It was
How
just
was
creepy.
Yeah.
But
How
the
was the
eyes were
lighting?
round and just jet black, and it didn't blink at all. Big round, like cow eyes, Jeff. Cow
Yeah.
eyes. Big
How long
round.
do you think it was there
There you go.
for?
Well, we don't know when he got there, but he was there when we looked the first time. But he stood there at least 2 hours.
2 hours.
Didn't
Well,
blink.
you would go
Oh,
back
wow.
and look out the window and he'd still be there.
Yeah.
It would
We'd
be
sit
there.
down, we'd talk for a little bit, and talk to Flat Rock and get up and go back to look in the window, until it got
you
dark.
I
When did
figured
you
if I,
actually tell Flat Rock that you were seeing it out the back window?
I know.
we don't know when we did it, but
I don't know when we did either.
it was like I figured the first time I didn't really want to ever see one, really, because it scares me. But I figured the first time I actually saw one, I'd be like terrified. And Billy Schilling just asked why there wasn't any fear. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was as calm as I've ever been. It was kind of like the UFO thing. We were all calm. looking at that.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was when I saw that. I just stood there at the window as calm as I wasn't excited. I mean, I wasn't scared. It did not, there was nothing about it that scared me.
Yeah, even when you came running up, of course, I didn't hear the running up. I heard the branch snap, but I wasn't scared
I
there.
wasn't scared when it was running at us.
But now, if you're going to ask me if we're going to camp on that, he called it the high grass, which, Bud and Angie can tell you where the high grass is. It's about 100 yards from his house down the trail towards the creek. I wouldn't camp there.
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't want to push it, but yeah.
No, we won't camp there.
We'll stay there. But he said that the lights on, he has the booger lights on his yard, to come on, and if something comes in his yard, he says it don't stop him. It doesn't bother him anymore. They come right up to his trailer and slap on the side of the trailer.
I often wondered that a lot. Put up lights, et cetera, et cetera. I think eventually that's like a human. You or I become immune to stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
I would think they're the same way. So
Yeah.
the
He
light
said
thing
they
might
don't do
work
it. He said
because-
it didn't do anything to deter them.
yeah.
Because he
I
said
agree
they'll
with
come up and whack on the side of the place.
And I asked him why they did that. He said they used to leave dog food outside, and they would steal the dog food.
And they stopped.
And so he brought the dog food in because they kept stealing 50-pound bags of dog food. So it gets expensive.
And they got
There's
mad.
another.
They got mad,
Yeah.
slapped his.
They got mad, slapped his trailer.
Carl Gotro had the same deal down in Louisiana. It was on Carrie Arnold's show. I forget which number documentary it was, but he had the same thing. He was like, he was having 50-pound bags of dog food disappearing. He kept it in a thing on the back porch.
Was that the one where they reach in the doggy door and grab it inside and pull it out? The doggy door?
Oh, I
It was-
saw
yeah, he
that.
had a bin outside. He had a bin
I
outside.
saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Carl Gotro. I don't know if there's anything going on there anymore or not because they kind of fell off the face of the earth. But
Wow.
No.
how
You
far
never
south of Mississippi do you think the Bigfoot are? Leanne Smith's asking.
All the way down here, because right
Oh.
south of us in Helena, like 5 miles from us,
Yeah.
there was a sighting like a year ago. And then Wilmer, Alabama's like 12 miles
Yeah.
from us, and there's all kind of sightings there.
We were, we're really close. We're 3 miles from the Pascagoula River water management area,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's mostly marsh, and there's a lot of trees in there too. Yeah,
And he
wildlife
takes
management
me-
area.
And I love to fish. Oh my God, I love to fish. And so he takes me, we go down when he moves over here, we go down, we're looking
Took a
for a
boat ride.
place took a boat ride, fishing. I found tree structures and he goes, "You're my girl."
I'm looking for a place
He's
to
looking
fish.
for a place to
And
fish.
she's looking
And
up.
I found tree
She's
structures.
checking a bank out for footprints and tree structures.
Wow.
Yeah, sure enough.
You're my girl. You're my girl.
That's an interesting thing here. Don't fool yourself. They have seen forced people and dogmen in empty houses in Detroit, Michigan.
Wow.
Dog man scares the shit out of me.
No,
The
you're
crap.
okay.
The crap out of me. Don't like dog man stuff.
I'd love to see one personally.
No,
A good one.
no.
I
Well,
showed you a picture of one last week.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know what that damn thing is, but
yeah. If one person says he saw a dog man, you kind of think anything. But when somebody comes up and they've been researching this for so long and they have thousands of, reports, just like they do Bigfoot, that, and then we're talking doctors, lawyers, judges say it had a face like a dog. It was stood up on 2 feet.
No, the
You kind
guy,
of got to wonder,
that ex, he was the chief of police.
yeah.
And I mean, he had PTSD. What were we, that the LBL stuff we were
I think she's
watching?
talking about Martin Groves, but she keeps saying it's
Yeah.
not Martin Groves.
It's
but
not Martin Groves.
It's Martin Groves.
Is it?
I'm
Anyway,
sure it is. I'm sure it is.
it could be. But we were watching, he was before the meet and greet LBL, we were watching that. And I mean, when he tells that story, he's like freaking the hell out. I mean, he was chief of police, and he's like, "Oh my Lord, I saw this and it happened," and I'm like, "I want no part of that stuff.
Yeah.
No
Well,
part of that."
when I worked at the research lab, and we're talking 40 years ago, this is back in the
Right.
early 1980s. I know y'all weren't born then. I'm not that.
They weren't
I was
born.
born in
You were
89.
born. I know. Sorry, Jeff.
That's all offended. I was born in '89.
We did a lot of research on the water and boats, and a lot of that stuff was at night. And sometimes we had to get off the boat in swampy areas around these little islands and stuff to do research. And our boat captain is old, crusty old guy like Captain Quint. He would always tell us, when you get off the boat, careful of the swamp. He called it a swamp willy monster. He says, don't let that swamp willy monster get you. And he
Wow.
adamantly told that story. And now he'd have a little tongue-in-cheek giggle, he.
Yeah.
But I think the guy really believed, or he saw something at some time in his life, whether he was hunting or boating or whatever. And it could have been because he did a lot of research over the Pascagoula River and around this Honey Island swamp and stuff. So I think he might have seen this, but I never did actually. Nowadays, if he was still alive, I'd love to just go and say, "Man, tell me your story." But I never did get to hear his story. So
Real quick, Patrick Neville, real quick. Then we get back to Bigfoot and Dogman. Wanted to know what color the craft and was it saucer shaped?
It was saucer shaped, but the color was iridescent. It was swirling like purple, green, pink. It was swirling under the bottom.
Hmm.
But it was saucer shaped.
and what year was that? Close to
67.
67.
That's a
Wow.
good year.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Excellent year.
That's when
Gimlin. Patterson Gimlin.
somewhere around
Wow.
that time.
Well, some guy got in touch with me years later, and I don't remember because I got away from. You try to put all that stuff behind you, but some guy got in touch with me years later and said he had some information on that night that he saw it. He took pictures, but
Wow.
none of us followed. Nobody believed us, so we're like, everybody thinks we're crazy. We'll just shut up now. Pretty much, that's what we girls did. We just said, everybody thinks we're nuts. We're just gonna, nobody wants to be made 10 years old. You don't want to be made fun of at school. So we just shut up and said,
So-
okay.
Yeah.
So did any of
Elaine?
you notice any like time loss or anything like that? Or
Doesn't remember.
I'm not sure, David. I really don't know. I don't know how long we stood out there staring at it. I just know I was very calm until it left. And when it left, we got really screaming and excited and hollering for our troop leaders,
very
But
interesting.
the whole time it was there over the lake, we just stared at it.
At about that same time, 1967, 68, 69, I lived in Hutchinson, Kansas, and our grandmother lived in Kansas City. So it was about a 4-hour drive. We'd go up, hit Salina, and cut across on I-70. Well, one weekend we were going to grandmother's house, and I forgot all about this event. The only part of the event I remember is that here we got up to about Fort Riley on I-70, and I'm a little kid. I'm about 7, 8 years old. I'm laying with my head on in the back seat, looking out the window, and I see a craft coming down. And to me, it looked like it was egg shaped, but I wasn't really sure. But I saw it come down, and that's the last thing I remember. So fast forward, we get to grandmother's house. It's dark. It's 4 hours past the time it's 2 hours past the time we were supposed to get there. Grandmother's screaming at us, and mom and dad are like, we didn't stop anywhere. We just drove straight here, and we're here now. So, I didn't know anything about, I don't remember anything about that because I was 7, 8. But one day I was sitting and talking to my dad about experiences because dad was really big into UFOs aliens, and he had a lot more information that a lot of us have. Anyway, we were having a conversation. He says, "Do you remember that trip we went to Kansas and we had missing time?" And I said, "No." He said, "We got to Grandma's house and she was screaming." I said, "Yeah, I do remember. Grandma was really upset that we weren't there. We should have been there 2 hours before." And I said, "Son of a gun." So anyway, I don't know. I have no recollection of anything happening to me, and I don't think Mom did. But apparently Dad remembers it. You know, he knew about it. Isn't that crazy?
His dad, I didn't meet his dad. He died before we got together, but he was a candle master. He could light a candle from across the room and put it out from
Whoa.
across the room.
He was a Tai Chi master.
Yeah,
He wrote.
totally cool. He's got videos of it, and it's like,
Yeah,
I hate I didn't get to meet him.
he was an amazing man.
I know a guy that can blow a candle out across the room.
Hey, I went to
Greg House.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to school with the tobacco spitting world champion. He
That's something to be proud of.
still lives here on the coast. I see him every once in a while.
Yeah, I met him at the
Yeah.
when he was.
Class reunion.
Yeah, I met him
World-
at his
he was
class
like-
reunion.
The first time he got world
Tobacco
champion was
spit-
14.
Guinness World Book of Records. He's back a spitting champion. Hey, we know royalty. What
Yeah.
can we say?
Welcome to Mississippi.
Redneck royalty. Redneck royalty.
Yeah, that was one UFO.
Now we lost everybody. We only have
There we go.
We're back.
So there again, you know, the UFO thing is like I like to call it a screen memory. So they want you to, my opinion, they don't want you to be upset or understand or know what they're doing to you or whatever. So they project that screen memory on you. So for me, all I saw was a little egg coming down to the sky, and next thing I know, I'm down the road and stuff. Which that same type of year, I'm sorry, that's 1967. I was playing in the backyard, riding my bicycle. I got a hairy tongue tonight. I shaved earlier, so anyway. Back to UFOs. Jeff's asleep. I put it.
No.
Anyway, I'm riding a bicycle. It's a beautiful, clear day. I probably told you that was this story. Never thought anything about what really happened.
Oh my God.
I'm in the backyard.
Killing me, Smalls.
I'm about a half mile from the house on a dirt road. And for some reason, I look up in a beautiful, clear sky. And I see this white dot in the sky, and it seems to get larger and larger, like it's coming down towards me. And I watched it for like 10 minutes, just coming down, slowly coming down, slowly coming down. And finally, when it got maybe 500 feet from me, it turned into like a newspaper, and it started just falling like a leaf as it came down, and it landed in the ditch by me. So I rode over to it on my bicycle, picked it up, and it was a flyer for like Montgomery Ward's, and it had like recliners on it and stuff, but it didn't have the name of the place. But I got on my bicycle and I pedaled back to the house, and I gave it to my mom. I said, "Mom, this fell out of the sky. It fell out of the sky. I don't know where, why would it fall out of the sky?" So now looking back, going, well, I don't know what came down that little white dot turned into, but it wanted me to believe it. All it was about was a little flyer landing in the ditch. So I don't know if I had missing time that day or not.
That's
Oh,
very.
But that was just really weird because it was a crystal blue sky. And I always remember that event because I'm thinking, okay, a Cessna flew over and somebody threw a paper out the window, or a dust devil picked it up somewhere and picked it up and then it dropped it, But
I was going to say this was Kansas. You say?
This was Kansas.
So I wonder if there was a dust devil or a tornado somewhere.
Yeah. But
Around
that
the
was a
vicinity.
crystal blue sky, not a cloud in the sky, no wind, it's just really, really weird.
That is.
That was one of those things that I just happened to remember, just, had.
He's got so many
Yeah.
things.
I wish I could remember everything that happened to me. Probably, maybe I don't.
And now his MUFON stuff. Oh my God. Most interesting guy in the world.
Oh,
Oh,
that's my honey.
Oh, yeah.
What is-
Oh,
You guys
That's
are
the,
awesome.
that's the Bigfoot ambassador right here. She goes, they come to see her. They come
Fairy
to see
tongue
her.
and Bigfoot ambassador.
I had fairy tongue, yeah. Does that,
Harry tongue in the Bigfoot.
does that discredit me for my, they can't believe
It
anything I
makes
see?
sense. It makes sense now, baby.
Oh.
It makes sense now.
Aw.
Oh.
So you see why she's a hoot and a hit at the meet and greets. Love her.
Yeah, I love it. You guys are awesome.
She's
We're
precious.
a little
I
crazy.
can have a little fun. Absolutely.
Oh, we do.
We do.
Mhm.
We have a lot of fun for two old farts.
Yeah.
Good.
So you got a fun. Oh, so let's go tell crazy fun stories. It's New Year's Eve.
Can I go pee first?
I guess we have to take a intermission here.
That's fine.
So yeah, in a minute she's going to tell a story, and then I'm going to tell you a story about one of my best practical jokes I ever pulled at the research lab. Yeah. What happened to Jeff?
He's
Bathroom
taking
break.
a bathroom break.
I-
So he said.
I'm a little nervous because last time I was on the show, I put Jeff to sleep, and so
He puts himself to sleep. Don't worry about it.
you get off the show and you go, oh my God, the host fell asleep. I've never been on a podcast where the host fell asleep. It's happened before. Poor Jeff.
Hey, let's keep talking bad about him. He can hear us.
Yeah, I'm getting fired up. I'm
We're
totally into your stories, John. Not your stories, but experiences, man. I think
Yeah.
they're really
Isn't that
interesting.
something? But
Yeah,
Yeah.
could have
crazy
brother
things like
dropped
that
it.
happen, and it's just. I'm gonna
I
do.
have a funny story. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with Bigfoot or UFOs.
Here we go. Let's do it.
You want to hear a funny story?
Let's go into the funny stories, but we can come back to Bigfoot or UFOs anytime you want. So
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay.
you're up.
So, I've never been on a cruise. So, my late husband, I'd won one at Hard Rock, and he was like, he didn't like boats, and he didn't like any of that. So he's like, well, you and Jeremy go. Y'all haven't, that's my son. He says, y'all haven't spent enough time together. I'll pay for y'all's flights. That's all we had to pay for. He said, and give you money for doing everything, but you and Jeremy go. So I go on my first cruise ever with my son. And so it was we went to Bermuda out of Boston. And it was a really rough cruise. It was really bad. It was like in May, and it was really like the boat was doing this and that. So one night, me and him were down in this nightclub. And he's so bad.
It's so bad.
My son is so bad.
He's bad.
He's bad. So I mean, my son's like 6'4", 380. I have a big boy, and so we're sitting in this nightclub we're on a Norwegian cruise because that's the only kind he takes. He loves Norwegian. And so we're sitting there in this nightclub, and it smells terrible in there. I mean, it smells horrible.
It's the
I
shit
mean-
ship, though.
So
It's
it's like, I mean, really, it was bad. And so I'm sitting on a couch. Me and Jeremy are sitting on the couch across from this little Asian couple. And I said, Jeremy, what is that smell? He goes, Mom, the ship is rocking. So the sewage underneath the ship is getting shook up. I mean, I'm so freaking gullible. I'm buying this crap from him. And so there's this little old Asian lady sitting across from me, and she's holding her nose. My son went to go to the bathroom because he needed to, believe me. So this little Asian lady sitting across from me, holding her nose, And I'm, being the caring, concerned person I am, I lean over and in the best Asian English I can handle, I go, I'm leaning over telling this little old lady, it's the boat rocking, making it smell so bad. So, and it's really not good because my husband, actually, the day we docked, my husband died that night before I got back home. And
You killed the story now.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, thanks, Phyllis.
No, I didn't. So, like a month or so later, we're sitting. My son and I, we're on a float trip. He made me go on, and we're sitting around and we're having a few drinks on the picnic table, and he starts laughing his ass off, and I'm like, they're laughing. He goes, he was passing gas.
Oh.
Nightclub that night because he goes, Mom, if a ship ever smelled that bad, nobody would take a cruise.
Oh,
But it was so funny because I was so serious telling this little Asian lady, it's the boat, it's rocking. That's why it smells so bad.
Oh, that's
I was
great.
like, you ass.
You
Because he does that to me. He knows I'm gullible because I don't think he would lie to me, and he did.
He's probably watching the podcast from in the other room going, I can't believe she told that story.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
It's a
funny.
great story.
I had to share cabin with him that whole week. It's a wonder I'm alive.
She has brain damage. You can tell by now. You can tell.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's go on with the legend of Skullnetter McKinney. I want to, right here. This is ceramic. I have a cousin in Kansas City that used to make these things. He made a mold out of beeswax and then poured it. So here, it's ceramic. It's just as close to being real as you possibly can. So anyway, he's a great artist, and I acquired about 3 or 4 of these things from him. I said, man, what can I do? What can I do to play a practical joke? So I'm working at the research lab, and I go, we're going to go out and do these night events, and we set gill nets out at night, and we'd bring the fish in, and the live fish we would tag and release and measure and stuff, and the dead ones we'd bring back and work up for science. Well, I had a guest on the boat this one night, and he's one of the guys that worked at the research lab, but he worked in a different department, and he's about 6'7", played middle linebacker for actually played defensive end for Mississippi State when he went to school up there. Big old boy. So anyway, what I did was take that skull, tied it on a string, and hung it over the dock in the water for about 2 weeks to get all kind of slime and barnacles on it to make it look like it'd been in the water for a while. So anyway, I put that in my bag, my duffel bag, snuck it on the boat. We all go out to the island where we were setting the nets. And while I got him off the boat to go off the island, go look for seashells or something, and I tied that old swampy looking dead skull into the net where when he pulled the net up, he would find it. So anyway, yeah, he goes off, does a little walk around. He comes back. We had to wait 4 hours to pull the net up. So he comes back to the boat, and the other guy on the boat with me, my other research partner, he's in on it too. So he knows what's going on. We're setting up Chuck. We're setting up Pat. His name is Pat. Anyway, we're telling stories. The net's like 100 yards long, and we're pulling fish out, talking. I said, you heard about that fisherman, that shrimper that fell off the boat, not too far, month or so ago, and they never found his body. He goes, no, I didn't hear about that. So we're pulling the net along, and it really worked out great because there was all kind of trash in the net. We pull up an oil filter. It came off some boat somewhere. And he goes, and he looked at us and said, man, it'd be really crazy if we pulled up a dead fisherman in this net. And I looked at the other guy and said, "Oh, we got him." So anyway, he gets to the end of the net and he pulls up and he lifts the net up and he sees the skull and he drops it back down. He goes, "Oh my God. Oh my God. There's a body. There's a skull in the net." Well, me and the other guy, we started laughing, and we started laughing so hard we couldn't catch our breath. And this guy, Pat, turns and looked at us, and he sees us laughing. He goes, "It's not funny. We need to call the cops." And we couldn't even. We were laughing so hard we could not catch our breath to tell him it's a joke. It's a joke. And he finally realized that it was a joke, and he got so mad. So here's this 6-7 foot guy chasing me around a little 24-foot boat, and we're going round and round the cabin. "I'm going to kill you! I'm going to kill you! I'm going to kill you!" Oh my God, we were laughing so hard. And yeah, he finally calmed down. I didn't get killed, but
Obviously.
but it was like the best prank I ever pulled on anybody. Or Patrick McKinney.
Okay, so Gary wants me to tell the spider story.
All right. Go ahead.
That ain't even good. So when we're at the meet and greet, and it's Sunday morning, and we're packing up our camp, and so John's in the tent. He's got,
Gary wasn't there.
Gary had been taken away in the ambulance that morning. Unfortunately, it was really upsetting. And but so John's in the tent. He made me a princess potty, and he took good care of me that weekend. So he's in the tent getting everything up, and I'm going over to see Greg and them, and all of a sudden we hear John going. He found a wolf spider. It's the tent. He's got the rake, and Misty can't get over there. She's trying so hard. She's trying so hard. She hated she missed her. She did get some of the video of him, and she said, "Don't you throw that out at me." And so
he ran to the corner of the tent and reared up on his back legs and hissed at me.
Oh man!
And it hit them. And I started beating it. I got a rake from Misty, and I started beating it with the rake, and it wouldn't die, and it kept coming at me. It wouldn't die, and I was like,
and I'm going over to see Greg and Wanda, and I get over there, and they go, "We thought that was you over there hollering." I said, "No, that's John."
It was John.
I don't like spiders.
And so then he gets the tent down, and there's a tarp. You put a tarp down before you put your tent down. And so he's on the tarp, and a scorpion goes up his leg. It's like, poor John, poor John that weekend.
I was so drained by that time. I just flicked it off like it was a cricket. I just flicked it off. So there you go.
It's about a 5-pounder, though.
No, it wasn't a big one.
Where's Jeff?
We lost him.
Is he asleep?
He says he's still here.
Cows are floating away from the rain.
Yeah, it is not raining now.
He's in the office.
Oh, okay. We'll carry on.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Your turn.
Questions? Stories? Anybody?
All I'm seeing is messages about squealing like a little girl. So
No.
Yeah.
There's a fan. I have a fan club now. They started a Phyllis fan club.
Phyllis, Bigfoot ambassador.
So I know she's a Bigfoot ambassador. And I'm the spider slayer. They all call me the
Jerry Chilling said you were squealing like a little girl.
That was
and
Billy
Misty
was like
says so
200 yards
funny.
away.
Billy was probably squealing.
I don't like spiders.
a lot of people don't.
Little black devils.
No, I don't like. I'm terrified of spiders. I don't care. They can be this big, and I don't care.
Don't do spiders.
There he is. Face.
There's Jeff.
There's Jeffrey.
He's just looking at you guys.
Hey, John, it's your turn.
Back to the UFOs. Back to
Sure.
anybody got some UFO stuff? We
I do on my shirt.
That is an awesome shirt, Jerry. I love it. I want to
Cindy
get
got it
one.
for me for Christmas, and it's hard. It's actually the background. If our four squares wasn't up on the screen right now, you'd see that this Bigfoot face with his eyes big and his mouth open, like. And you look up, there's 3 UFOs flying above you.
Is
Like,
that
oh,
what you had on? Oh, you had that on there when we first came in the studio. Because
Yeah.
I said, John, what is that? He goes, well, it's a Bigfoot looking up at a UFO.
Yeah.
he looks troubled. His face looks.
Yeah, he looked
So-
really troubled.
That's a good. Okay, so here, when I started thinking about these Bigfoots and where they are,
show that.
they're running around the woods. Nobody finds them. They're here. They're not here. I scratched my head one day, before I thought about stuff, and I said, I wonder if the aliens come over with their little UFO or their saucer, whatever, and they drop off, they beam down the Bigfoot, let him run around the woods like like your pet,
Potty
Let it-
break.
potty break, or go chase a deer, whatever they do, go let him play around the woods, and then they beam him back up like it's their pet or whatever. But I thought about that, and one day I was watching a conference. And one of the Bigfoot guys from BFRO said that. He said, what if these UFOs fly over, bring Bigfoot along, and they just let them beam them down for a little while and run around? That's why we never find them, because they beam them back up in the ship. That's just crazy. Somebody else comes up with my crazy stuff.
I heard a story about
Y'all see my earrings?
Oh,
This is how I caught him. I went out one night and he was there singing karaoke, and he says, you have fishing lures on your ears. I'm in love with you.
Yes.
yeah. She's quite a good fisherman, too.
Yes, I am.
She has one issue.
Getting them in the boat.
No, she won't clean fish.
I don't clean them.
Won't clean fish.
I'm trying to share this picture real quick. If it,
Yeah,
It's like he
all
who
right.
catches them doesn't have to gut them, right?
There you go.
I don't know. The one that catches them doesn't have to gut them.
That doesn't matter.
That's
You
like
take
deer
turns.
hunting.
Can you
If
guys
you're
see
the
that
youngest
picture?
one and you learn
No.
how to gut, you can
Yeah.
feed deer for everyone else.
Yeah, I can't get my other screen to come up. I can't share a screen.
Well,
I can't.
Patrick said, I hooked you.
You what now?
Patrick said, you hooked him.
Yeah, you hooked it all right. You sure
Hey,
did.
Phyllis,
I
how,
sure did.
So we've been looking for a place to go camping and Bigfooting around here, maybe do a little meet and greet down here on the coast in Mississippi, something different. And one of the guys at work I work with is a big camper hunter, lives out in the woods. And he said, John, man, you need to try out this place over here. It's called Airy Lake. And I said, okay. So he pulls it up on his phone, starts showing me, the property and stuff. And I go, well, man, that looks perfect. It's a beautiful campground. It's primitive camping. It's got a lake. It's full of fish. You can walk around the lake. It's got hiking trails all around. Big fish, big fish. Anyway, so I go and I get up on Google Earth and look it up to see how it's in the middle of the DeSoto Forest. Well, in the middle of the picture, right next to it, it says Bigfoot Trail hiking something or other. I said, what? So there's a Bigfoot trail right next to the damn place we're going to go.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. So we can't wait the next couple
And
days.
there's also a POW account not far from here that has ghosts.
Yeah, it was
Has the ghost
it was
of
a
the
World War II
Yeah.
POW camp.
And it has the ghost of the World War II POWs.
So it's got a lake there, it's got camping, and it's got ghosts, man. And Bigfoot. So you got everything covered.
Who
Right
could
there.
ask for anything
All we need is
more?
a few UFOs.
yeah, you guys should do it. You guys should start up a little group out there.
Well, we're just going to get the group that's here. I think the Greens might come down and join us there.
Yeah,
but-
Mark and Becca mentioned it on their show the other night that John is trying to get a meet and greet, a little small, not like what Misty and them do, because we could never do what Misty and Greg and Spencer do.
We love
They're
our
awesome.
brothers and sisters from
But
Woodwalkers.
you know, we're trying to get a small group because Barry Browning said he'd come down here, and Mark Green and Becca said they would. So you know, it wouldn't be a big group, you know, like Woodwalkers do.
But if you guys got a campground over there in Maryland somewhere, you guys want to go to,
Yeah, we're
we'll,
Oh
we're-
yeah, oh yeah. I got one. Oh yeah.
do you? Do you?
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
real boogery. Now look, if it's got a
Oh,
lot of
goodness.
dog man, you know, she may not want to go, but
and we're only an hour and a half. from
I'm not
Gettysburg.
going to Dogman stuff.
you won't get her to the LBL ever.
Probably not.
To the
That
LBL.
was not Martin Groves. It
Okay.
was not Martin
All right.
Groves.
Okay.
I plan to go to LBL one of these days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I
Yeah,
want
you
to
guys
go.
can
I
get
might
together.
go too.
We'll do a day trip.
I'm gonna get a sweater.
It'll
for
take a
myself.
whole evening.
We can take you to Gettysburg. We're less than 2 hours from
Oh
there.
wow.
I would love that.
So,
Spooky.
you should stay
Yeah.
for it. There's going to be a meet and greet coming to me.
Yeah, there's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
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 We're only booked through January, and we may go May 1st to Vegas for that SOR.
It's gone.
So
Yeah,
now we're going to switch over to ghost stories.
Sure.
Ghost stories. Sure.
Whatever you want to talk
You're in the
about.
driver's seat, John.
All right. What she gets back. Yeah, I got ghost stories. Oh man, do I have
That
ghost
picture.
stories? I didn't tell them. You know, did we tell ghost stories last time we were on? I don't remember.
I think we did.
I think we
We
did.
talked about the bleeding wall or something.
Yeah, where I lived in Birmingham. It was
Yeah.
freaking yes. Amityville House. That was one
Yeah.
crazy place. And me again, you know, I'm just so skeptic over everything. And I have to, it just can't be what it really is in front of me. It's just, I'm skeptic. But growing up, you know, like I said, that house I grew up in, I'd see people walk down my hallway, walk into my bedroom, and all along it's a hallucination or I'm just dreaming. But I wasn't, I was awake. So,
You go
Hmm.
first.
all right.
I have sleep paralysis.
We have a Civil War fort on the islands out here. Of course, all the Berry Islands practically have Civil War forts and stuff
Yeah.
way back in Fort Massachusetts, and it's been known to be haunted. And
Yep.
I have never had an encounter out there of anything haunting, but I have friends. They were out there, and they did a day trip, and they had a little 3-year-old girl with them. And they were walking around the fort, and it's one of those days where it's like, it was in the wintertime, I guess, where there's nobody around. And so you just go walk around and stuff. Anyway, the little girl looks at her mommy and she taps her mommy. And she goes, "Mommy, who is that?" And she goes, "What do you mean, who is that?" She goes, "That man over there, he's all blooded." I said, "What do you mean he's all blooded?" He's wearing a uniform and he's got bandages all over him and he's all blooded. And they looked, you know, the husband and wife looked at each other and they go, "We got to go." So apparently the little girl could see the ghost, but they couldn't.
Wow.
That's
That's-
Fort
that's-
Massachusetts.
That's actually kind of well known that kids see
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
so than
I've heard that
adults.
too.
Yes.
You got a ghost story for me, baby?
I'll tell my some sleep. I'll tell a sleep paralysis story.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Stop. Stop. I'm freezing. So I mean, my son used to watch Freddy Krueger. I tried to watch 5 minutes of it, and it
Is
was
this going to be
so
another
much
ship rocking story?
huh?
Is this going to be another ship rocking story? Or?
No, no, the ship's not going to rock. I hope not. So my son tried to make me watch
Funny, didn't
Freddy
laugh.
Krueger when he was.
Close the window.
The window should have already been
I
closed.
opened them earlier. Go on with your story.
Anyway, so I watched like 15 minutes of it, and it was too much real life for me because that's the way it is. I go to sleep. I think I'm asleep. I might be awake. And it's like after my husband died in 2019 and we moved out here, one night I crawled in my bed and I'm half asleep and I feel this arm come over me and pull me
Oh, boy.
close. And I'm thinking,
Oh,
it's him, and I'm okay with that. And then
Oh.
my somewhere in my mind goes, he's dead. And then it clamps
Oh, boy.
down on me like really hard and pulls me into it. That was really scary because, you think you're awake, but you're not. You're not asleep. You're not awake. That's the most horrifying thing in the world to me. That's worse to me than anything.
Oh boy. I'm forewarning everybody. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all been forewarned.
Uh-oh.
I've got a crew backstage.
Farrakhan.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Okay.
Everybody plug ears.
Oh boy.
Children, leave the chat.
Bring them to. I know what you mean by that. Bring them to the party.
The biggest thing that worries me is she's drinking out of this little white styrofoam cup, and I'm scared to
Oh,
death.
right. I
She's
meant to
already
get-
wiping the bottom of her eyes because she's laughing probably. So, Chad, he's gasping for air. He's falling off his stool or something there. So, oh boy.
Bring them to the party.
Sitting there like, are you going to bring us on the freaking show or what?
They're probably bored. Bring them on.
Bring them on. We got room for everybody, don't we?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, Lord.
the stars from Christmas Eve and Christmas night, Blackie and Farrakhan, are here to join us. You've been warned.
I can't see
Howdy,
them.
y'all.
Uh-oh.
I
They're
don't
not on
see
yet.
them.
Uh-oh.
They're here. Oh, they froze up.
Ta-da.
There they are. There they are. Now they're
Chad.
moving.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Todd. Hi, Erica.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Phyllis.
Hey, now we can see the big.
Happy New Year.
Hey, we can see the Bigfoot now in the background. See his
Yeah,
eyes.
you can. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Hey, everybody.
Anyway,
Great
Hi,
show so
Chad.
far.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Farrakhan.
Don't get quiet now that we're on.
Well,
Well, what do we want to talk about now? The ship rocking or
no,
what?
don't get Farrakhan started, please. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I guess I can leave now since everybody else.
yeah.
No,
No, you're not going to sleep.
no, don't go, Jeff.
You're not going
You're
anywhere.
not
Jeff.
going to
We want to hear you snore.
I gotta add some more caffeine to my system. I'll be right
So
back.
let me ask you this, John and Phyllis both. What's your what would be like your ultimate goal? Like to get in a vehicle and just take off driving. What area sticks out in your mind most that you want to go to not so much investigate, but just to check out and maybe see,
Wow,
See,
good question.
Good question. I would like to.
what's your pick for the squatchy spot to drive to and just
I would like to go to Oregon,
Oregon?
because they have a lot of squatches in Oregon.
David likes
I
that.
know a place you
I'm
can
just
stay.
saying, no, always. I have a nephew that lives in Portland, and I mean, there's a lot of squatches in Oregon.
We've been to the best place, which was Flat Rock.
Flat
But so
Rocks, yeah.
I would like to go to the next best place, and that's Coonbo's.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I want to go to
Okay,
Coonbo's.
the deep
I want to go to
coast.
Greg's.
we've been to the man cave,
Yeah.
and I signed the Bigfoot.
Nice.
All
right.
Alabama.
That's awesome.
Alabama's on my list. I've been
Yeah.
close to Alabama, just not quite down in there. But yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
probably the Man Cave or Mark Green's for our fire.
Yeah.
It was kinda quiet. When we
when
when we pulled up to the man cave that night, and I got out right behind Spencer, and it was like I have never heard woods that quiet.
Yeah.
There wasn't a cricket, there wasn't a bird, there wasn't a sound. I'm telling you, it was like deathly quiet.
You mean Spencer was nothing?
That gave me the creeps. And Spencer had his what was it?
Oh, yeah, he had a thermal
He
camera.
had a thermal and his thing to record stuff. And he was in front of me and I was following him. And I mean, there was nothing. We're talking deadly silence. Nothing.
It was eerie.
It was
Very
eerie. And then we get in the man cave and Greg starts telling his stories and showing us where he was going to shoot we got a picture of Greg going like this. He's going to shoot the Bigfoot on the
Jump
roof.
on his
you
roof.
know? And, but it was pretty awesome to get invited to the man
Yeah.
cave.
Greg and Wanda and
Yeah.
Abby, just
Yeah.
super nice
Greatest
people.
greatest
Super.
people on earth. And
Hillary's got
Spencer
the right
too.
idea.
And
That's a
Spencer
good idea.
too. I love Spencer too. I do.
That is a good idea. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good idea. Yeah, Gettysburg. She had mentioned earlier she wanted to load up and go to Gettysburg. We're like an hour and 20 minutes from Gettysburg here, Jeff. And
Oh, wow.
I really want to go to Gettysburg. I do. That's on my bucket list.
In 2020, when all the crap
Here is awesome. It is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's beautiful land, and obviously,
we were going out there every weekend because there was nothing else to really do other than if I wasn't tractor pulling somewhere. We went to Gettysburg every weekend. Just drove around the park, did whatever. There's plenty to see. You can go out there and see something different every time you go. We've
Yeah.
been going for years. Restaurants and stuff. But you drive another 20 minutes, 25 minutes to Mouchett State Forest.
And what's there?
You just lots of stories, lots of
Okay.
reports, lots
Ghosts.
of activity.
Yeah.
Ghosts. Right?
It's very-
Ghosts.
Uh-huh.
I won't say it's a super active area, but there is plenty of information out of that area. Mouchett. I can stand right at one part of the battlefield and look over to the mountain there at Mouchett State Forest, and it's like it calls you. It calls you. Come over here.
You know.
It's awesome.
I just wonder, do you get that like heavy feeling when you're there? That just that heavy.
There's
don't
one
know how to
spot,
describe
and
it.
Jeff and I talked about it, and I shot some photos down there. We were just
Yeah,
there.
Jerry was sending me pictures of one day when he was there.
We were there a couple months ago. There's still leaves on the tree, and the trees, and yeah, there was some stuff that was twisted. I can't say if he did it or whatever, but there was a couple, and he's seen the picture, and but there's that area does have not a big history, but that particular low area has reports of something being in there seen. Not
And
ghosts.
I've
You guys are all cutting out on it and come back
I
in for
heard
some
that
reason.
too.
You guys keep freezing. We're watching you, and your footage freezes, and then you start moving again, then you freeze.
To us,
There you go.
Or Erica.
I was going to say you guys need to go out and come back in. Try that.
us or Erica?
Erica.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm freezing.
There's some
I'm
awesome,
freezing, but
She's
not the
actually
kind of
cold.
freezing that you're talking about.
there's some awesome stories as far as ghosts know that I've personally got from
Yeah.
people.
Tell that
Gettysburg.
story real quick, Joe.
Oh my God, John!
Yeah.
Listen to this, John and Phyllis.
I'm
This
ready.
one, you'll like this. So one of the we buy hay.
Yeah.
From a place called Getty Acres. They actually bale the battlefields at Gettysburg.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
And they break
that's
the hay out.
No, I would not buy hay.
That's going to make your hair tingle.
Yeah, so I've got spirits in my barn from Gettysburg, in case anybody's wondering. I haven't seen any soldiers walk out of the hay yet, but
Wow.
Wow.
it's crazy. But one of the drivers, not one of the guys that normally drives out here, but he takes loads other places. But he's come in a couple times, and I was talking to him one day. The other guy's he's never really said anything. He said a few times he's been out there early in the morning or late at night loading the bales, and you'll feel like somebody's watching you or whatever. But this
Yeah.
guy was and this guy is like a mountain of a dude. He's not what you would consider somebody that's easily rattled by anything. And he told me that one morning he had to go back to get his truck. I guess he was leaving the rig there, and he was he had a Ford Excursion, and it was like early in the morning, and parked off one of these side roads, and he got in it, and as he fired it up, he looked over in the passenger seat, and there was a Confederate cavalry officer sitting in
Oh, wow.
Ford.
Wow.
I don't like it when they hitchhike like that with you don't invite them. I don't like it. I don't like
And
that.
I was like,
That's funny.
well,
Wendell.
what'd you do? He's like, I gave him a ride back to the farm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I would have done, too.
Soldier, here you go.
He said he just started driving, and he's trying to talk to him, and the guy was just sitting there, and
Oh,
then after a while he just disappeared. But he called a friend of his that morning after this happened,
and he said,
to him, he's like, hey, was there any Confederate encampments back on so-and-so road? And he's like, give me an hour, I'll call you back. So he went and he pulled it up, and he's like, yeah, why do you want to know that? And he told him, and he was like describing all of everything he was wearing. He's like, that was a Confederate cavalry officer.
Wow. Cool. That's so cool.
you know.
Welcome back, Erica and Kat.
So I wonder if
Confederates love Ford Excursions.
if that was me, I would sit there and go, did it really happen? Did I really see that? How can I explain this? How can I explain that?
I mean, he said it so matter of factly. I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's like me and my flat rock experience.
So
I don't care if anybody believes me. I don't care if anybody understands it. It was my experience. It's mine. I have it. That's all I know.
the scariest I've ever been in my entire life coming up now.
Okay.
I was working as a bartender and manager of a pool hall.
I thought it was a spider in the tent again. Okay, go ahead.
Spiders.
Anyway, we would stick around after work and shoot pool because we like to shoot pool. And we would hear things in the attic or on the roof and stuff. And I didn't pay any attention to it, you know. But the weird thing is that when you went into the restroom, the little paper towel dispensers, they'd go off all the time for no reason. And there's no, you have to stick your damn hand around it.
Yeah, the automatic
Make them go
ones.
to go off. These things would go off all the time. Once again, I didn't pay much attention to it.
That's odd.
And behind the bar was a really beautiful, nice glass case and had glass shelving. And we had a beer bottle of every type of beer we had. Well, these beer bottles, when I'd come in the morning to open up, they would be slid over where they're dangling off the edge of the damn glass, the shelf. And I'd have to shove them back. And I go, I don't know. Sometimes if the refrigerator kicks on and kicks off, it makes enough vibration. But it never happened while we were there. It was always overnight. And you come back in the next day and it was like that. Well,
it was a great
somebody else had told me that they'd heard all this stuff going on and heard all this stuff going on. And me being the skeptic that I am, it really didn't bother me. And one night I was closing up by myself, and everybody was gone, and I was ready to go out the door. All the paperwork was done, and I go through and make sure there's like nobody's passed out in the bathroom stalls. I go into the women's room.
Common occurrence.
Well, no, never. Now, I've never had that ever, but you never know. I mean, we got an alarm system, but I mean, it would go off the minute somebody stood around. I go into the women's room, and I go to the back stall, and I open the stall, and I hear voice. Now, this voice was very deep. It didn't sound English to me. It sounded more like Latin. And if you ever put your face up next to a snare drum and you talk, you hear that snary sound. That's the sound it was making. It was like, and I'm going, holy cow! I couldn't tell where it was coming from, and it just got louder and meaner and louder. And I'm backing out of there, and I start hyperventilating. Make a mad dash to the door. I'm shaking so hard. I'm setting the alarm. I had to do it 3 times to set the alarm. I'm gasping. I'm hyperventilating. I've never, you hear people do that. I've never had that happen to me in my life. I run out the door. I lock the door to the building. I go and get into my car, and I sit in the front seat of my car gasping. That's how scared I was. This just scared the living.
It's a demon.
I can't tell you.
It was a demon.
Anyway, it took me 5 minutes to get my breath and drive home. And I called my friend. I said, I believe you now. Everything you just said that you saw in this place, I believe you now. Anyway, so going on, I called the boss. I said, I really like working for you, but I don't know if I can work for you anymore. I'm not going back in this place. He goes, well, what if we have one of the other bartenders or cocktail waitresses stay and walk out with you at night? So there's 2 people. And I said, that's the only way I'm staying working here. That is the only way I'm staying. So anyway, a couple of days later, I run into my buddy. He's a paranormal investigator, and he chases ghosts. I said, boy, do I have a place for you. So they came in. We set it up. They came in one night and did a little, investigation. They put up other little grid cameras and stuff like that. And as far as I know, we didn't have anything happen that night. And they go, well, you want us to do a little, prayer and get rid of this ghost or demon or whatever it is? I said, would you please make it go away, whatever it is?
Call the priest.
So apparently whatever they did worked, because I never had another experience in that night. Now, 2 days after that happened to me, I'm pulling out of the parking lot on the next night that I worked. Everything was fine. Me and the other girl that I worked with, we left, got in our cars, left. I'm driving out the parking lot, and there's a cemetery right next to our building. And in the front of the cemetery, right next to the street, are 2 black rabbits sitting at the gates of the cemetery. I've never seen a rabbit there before in my life, and I've never seen one since, except for that night.
Well, even
I
black.
don't know what the significance is, that there were 2 black rabbits sitting there that 2 nights after that happened.
I've never heard of a black rabbit.
Yeah.
Me
I-
neither.
At least I'm in a store nearby.
I haven't either. I've never heard of a black rabbit.
What part of town were you in?
D'Iberville, Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's in town. It's not now. Like I said, there was an old cemetery right next door. And while I was working there was a kid that walked over to that cemetery. He was 17 years old. And he hung himself in that cemetery.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that bizarre? And I'm telling you, that's the most scared I've ever been in my life. Because I don't know. I never saw anything. I was just a disembodied boy.
Dating. He would take me there to play pool with his friend, and he'd tell me, be careful in the bathroom if the automatic towels start going off. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to me. I mean, I'm looking around like, nah.
But the owner, he didn't. I don't know if the owner believed me or not. But he was okay to, like you said, he made sure. He said, "Yeah, make sure somebody's there with you."
Yeah.
He didn't want to lose me.
My husband, my late husband, took me to Niagara Falls, and my kid, we all went, and so we go through this haunted house, and we come out.
When you say haunted house, it's like a it's like a.
It's dark black.
But was it a supposedly real haunted house, or was like a Halloween?
Really
Okay, a real haunted house. Okay.
But it was pitch black dark, so that's what made it scary, because you couldn't see anything till the red light came on and you followed it. Well, at the end of it was a bar. And so we went down there to have a drink in the bar, and the guys in the bar were like, "This is the most haunted bar in Canada." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Really?" And they're like, "Yeah." They like every night they take the coasters and like shuffle them out and throw them all over the floor, you know. And so when they figured out that they might be haunted, they contacted these guys on some TV show to come out there and do a program on them. And they were like, then all of a sudden, it wasn't just coasters. It was like bottles falling off, things breaking, and they would put powder down on the floor. And I mean, it was the coolest story that those people told us. When we got through the end of this haunted house, they were like, and they showed us pics and videos of like, they put baby powder down in the footprints in it and stuff. But they said once they started talking to these people about coming out and doing a show, it wasn't nice no more. It was broken stuff. And then when they said they told the ghost, we're not going to do this. We're not going to let these people come out. Then everything went back to normal. It was just coasters flying off the counter.
No more of that.
And no more. And that was it. Really interesting that story they told us when we got there.
What? I've been to a few haunted places over New Orleans, but I didn't see anything, or if I did, I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to nothing in New Orleans.
The cemeteries are beautiful there.
They are.
Did they creep you out?
No,
No, they don't creep me out either.
They don't creep me
I
out.
never got to walk through them, but just out from the gates, it was so beautiful. And I love architecture, but
Yes.
it's kind of sad because of their sea level and elevation and the stories of the history.
Yeah.
They've had to rebury and things like that, but
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, what, hours from there?
Yeah. Yeah, hour and a half.
We're like an hour and a few minutes.
That's crazy. I didn't realize you were so close, John and Phyllis.
Hey, have any of you guys ever been
Yeah.
to Fort McHenry?
Where's that?
Yeah, I have.
Well, Jerry, both of us have been to Fort McHenry because it's only like an hour from here. But
Oh, okay.
that was where they wrote the Star Spangled Banner.
We're okay.
Haunted as well.
Yes, yes.
A lot of haunted stuff in Baltimore and around Baltimore.
Oh,
sure.
yes.
There's
I've
a
been to
lot.
Charleston. Something
Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe's
Yeah.
grave.
I went to his house.
I did my junior high thesis on Edgar Allan Poe.
There we go.
Yeah, Edgar. Yeah, it's actually his birthplace is right beside the University of Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hospital.
Yeah, I heard he was buried in Maryland, but I went to his home in Philadelphia and took a tour there.
I'd love to do that. I've been to Philadelphia.
In fact, my favorite local bar, is called Pose.
No kidding. Why not?
If that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's wild.
My favorite bar is called Sloppy Joe's. It's in
Sounds
Key
good.
West.
I've been
Good to see
craving
you.
sloppy joes.
It's a Jimmy Buffett bar in Key West,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
if you weren't familiar.
I have actually heard of that. Now that I think
Captain Tony's,
I've heard about that.
Yeah. Where do you guys live, Erica?
We live in northern Middle Tennessee
Oh, okay. Cool.
now, but we lived in Dayton, Ohio, which I'm sure you're familiar with probably.
Oh, yeah.
We were not far from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Yeah,
Didn't buy it.
there's a lot of history there.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of secrets there.
Oh, there's a lot of secrets.
I had a friend that he was I guess he was military security there at Wright-Patterson, and he was getting a job to work for NASA on the space shuttle program, and he was actually on an interview for the job the day at the time the Challenger blew up, and the lines got cut off, and he didn't know what was going on.
Oh.
Well, anyway, he got the job, and he was one of the guys that got to do the lockout of the astronauts. So when you see him putting the astronauts into the space shuttle, and the guys in the white shirts or the outfits with the numbers on their back, that was his job
Oh, wow.
until he hurt his knee, and then he was just quality assurance. But one day we had a conversation, and he told me that he said there are things at Wright-Patterson that you would not believe.
Oh, I believe it.
I've heard on many
Yeah,
different levels. I've
So
heard
he's a see all and knows all, you know.
Yep. Yep. And can't talk about it.
It's it'd be really tough. It'd be really tough for me. It'd be really tough for me to work places like that because I feel like you can keep a secret, but if it's about aliens or Sasquatches, I'm probably going to spill the beans.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that's the kind of guy I am, you know?
Yeah, well, then you get into the other more.
Except for when they tell you they're going to, kill your family, and
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
In Roswell, they told every one of those guys in Roswell that picked up all the stuff. They said, if you tell anybody that you were out here and you did that, they'll find your family bones, your bones, and their family bones in the desert.
Yep.
That's how they kept secrets back then.
Yep.
That's how they kept secrets back then.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, boy. It's getting edgy.
Oh.
I'm freezing.
Well,
Turn the heat up.
when he asked about where you would like to travel, I was like, I'm pretty sure that John's traveled a lot of areas from your stories. So Phyllis probably a lot too, but
I'm an Air Force brat. I started out in Florida, ended up in California. I'm an Air Force brat.
Mhm. Wow.
How about you, David?
I'm just a brat. No.
David's a brat.
Got to be someplace you want to.
David's just traveled to the West Coast.
Hey, I went to LBL. That was as far east as I've been.
Yeah, you did go there. I remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a treat. It was 3
You guys had to fly, didn't you?
Yeah, we flew.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been to like Alaska. For me, like to go to Greg's, the man cave, or to go to Flat Rocks, that would be pretty much.
You've got to do that, David,
Yeah, I
someday.
know. It's bucket list.
You got to go to Greg's and Flat Rocks.
Yeah.
You do.
See that guy down below, D.A. Roberts? Buy his books because I don't. He doesn't need an OnlyFans page.
He's awesome.
We don't need to see him on OnlyFans.
Please buy his books. You're welcome, D.A.
You guys are funny tonight.
I know.
Always funny.
What the hell?
I had to go get some more caffeine in me so I could wake up.
Yeah, you got to wake up.
Now I got nothing to pick on him about. Where's John?
So let me ask this.
John left me. He left me for another woman, I think.
No, absolutely not.
No, that won't happen.
So Jerry, what's the scariest you've ever been?
Yeah.
The scaredest I've ever been?
Yes.
I don't know. I could tell you my scariest experience, what I think about the subject. We discussed that last week.
Yeah.
Jeremy's outside having a fire pit.
And that was the
He's
ice shot.
showing me pictures of the
Scaredest I've
fire
ever
pit.
been?
Well, then, wait a minute, Jerry. How about your Gettysburg adventures? And when I've gone, they've talked about how you can see kind of almost transparent, but images of people. I don't know what you would actually call it. Obviously ghosts, but have you had any experiences like that in Gettysburg area?
No, I haven't. My wife has. She actually stayed at the Jenny Wade house.
Oh, wow.
Gettysburg, and that's extremely haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And she spent, I think, 2 or 3 nights there with her niece. And
Wow.
I know the time of the year was September, I want to say 2019. It's around her birthday. So, but I know, and she needs to be in here to tell that stuff. She actually, I think Christmas night she may have mentioned a couple of things like that. But she had some activity, some footsteps, et cetera, et cetera. There's one room in the place that I think his name is Jeremy, a young kid that is at the place but is not real. And I think they were in a battlefield. She's heard some stories about the battlefield where there's actually, you can smell, I guess, smoke like from a cigar or a pipe or something, and there's nobody there. And some other things she's experienced. Me personally, I've not had any that I can recollect any ghost experiences. Now, she seen her grandfather sitting on the edge of the bed upstairs of their house. She was walking down the hallway and just walked by the room, looked over, and there's her grandfather sitting there. Well, obviously passed away. He wasn't alive. And I know she's had that. She's had ghost stuff happen. I've had the everything but a footprint sighting for me, and I don't recollect any UFO stuff. My mother has seen something here years ago in about 1986. Something took off where she could get the words "look out," look out to my dad and her brother. It was already up and gone that fast, just a blur. So,
oh, look, Roger's made an appearance.
I was waving at everybody. I waved at everybody. He said, "Who are you waving to?" I said, "I waved at everybody."
We were talking to somebody in the chat. Somebody said, "Say hi, Phyllis." Okay, hi, Phyllis.
There's times I get Larry when I get home 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning from a tractor pull, and I got to unload my truck.
Oh,
Knowing what's happened here in the valley down here, very close, not quarter mile away, half mile away. I get a little skittish about that.
You develop eyes in the back of your head.
You do.
I'll be honest. With the experiences you all have, I mean, I would probably be the same way as well. I mean, again, I've never had an experience, but I hear all of you guys and all the other people we've listened to. And I think to myself, if I had those experiences, I'd probably always carry more than one gun. A lot to it, yeah.
It's amazing how well your hearing can take over. When I'm walking away from that truck and I'm walking up the driveway to get up the steps to the front portion in the front door, those ears are crisp. They're sharp. I have good hearing, but I don't have that real good hearing. But I can hear. I mean, I could probably hear a pissant 10 miles away. My hearing is.
A pissant. A pissant.
I want to know what a pissant smells like. Or smells like.
Wonder what that sounds like.
Sounds like. That's it. Not smells.
I'm just saying.
It probably smells.
The question is, like, if there was something you thought might be there, Jerry, what would it possibly be? I mean, sneaking up on you. Cut me a knife. I know.
Up on me.
Yeah. Well, what would it possibly be that you're looking?
I always fear for the hairy man.
Okay. All right.
Harry,
I didn't know if it was like,
Considering the eye shine, the two
Okay.
different vocalization incidents that's been here. I've seen one. Not this.
So your
particular
property's
property,
really
but a mile
close.
away.
yeah.
He's only 5 miles away from me.
Well, how do you know Jeff's sneaking up on you?
I got to say hi to my mom. She's been watching really,
Aw.
Hi, Mom.
her name is Connie. And she's a
Hi,
Kansas City
Tom.
Chiefs fan, so go Chiefs, go.
Biggest Kansas City Chiefs fan ever.
Boo, Chargers.
Wow.
Roger
Well-
Williams said his wife can hear a bird eat a bug 4 hollers away.
4 hours. I love it.
That was what
Roger.
happened. Well, I don't understand. Probably not. I told my story last week.
But okay, that's good. But I tell you, after that last trip to Flat Rocks, when they all heard the footsteps and I didn't, I'm looking for some ear things, some hearing aids for
Trying to
me,
get here.
so I can hear.
Poor baby.
I can hear
Oh,
like you are. Like I want to
He's
hear it before he
so
jumps up and
old.
grabs me by the back of the neck and drags me away.
I'm
you know.
older than him, but he's so old.
Oh man.
I figure if something's going to sneak up on me, hearing aids aren't going to do shit because I
You're
can't
right.
reach there. I might as well just let it grab me and kill me.
Yeah. I have hearing aids, and sometimes I don't want to hear.
They sent him 2 left ears. They
I'll
thought he
be
had
honest
2
with you
left
here.
I
ears.
ordered some and I realized that I bought the wrong kind. But anyway, the ones they sent me had 2 left ears. I'm like, well, I got.
He don't
Oh,
have 2
man.
left ears. I'm back for that.
That time of night, I would be more worried about a cat, a big cat, or known to be in this
Wow.
area, or a
Yeah,
bear, or a bear.
Same.
Bear or
You don't
bear.
even hear them.
I've seen both of them here. So
Yeah, we've had both here. I think.
In the
I know we
summertime
definitely
here,
have cats.
it's mosquitoes. Just mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
what bothers me in the summertime worse the most is copperheads,
Yeah.
because we have them around where I am.
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
really
we have them here too, but you got to get down by the creek.
Yeah,
Get 'em.
but the ridge,
We're up high.
over here is full of copperheads.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. We've been in Tennessee now for just over a year. I saw a garter snake. I haven't seen it. Everybody
You're
copperheads
fortunate.
and everything else. I haven't seen it.
I hate
Well,
snakes too.
there was a rattlesnake. I don't know if I ever told you this, Jerry. One of the girls who used to work for us, when she was a kid, she got bit by one in Delta.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that there might be. They're very sparse if they are.
Yeah, very sparse. It was a timber rattler. I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not.
Man,
good.
I'd catch a rattlesnake.
And that was right there in the trails.
I used to live up there.
That's a couple of miles.
I've never seen
Right.
one.
You know where it was? Right there, Bryensville Square, back behind the Amber Light.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Now, there's some cryptids that would come out of that place, but that was completely different.
Let me tell you something. There's reports from Route 74 all the way back through that valley where the old train
I'm
tracks
talking
used to
about
run
the
through
things
there.
that would crawl out of that bar at night.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I got you.
I never went there. I've been by there, but I never walked through the door. So.
We went there one
Eric and
time.
Chad doing? I can't see them.
I went to that bar one time, and that was the last time.
Yeah.
It's dark.
But that area down through there along Muddy Creek, to walk through there at night. No, thank you.
People have told me stories about getting paced out of Muddy Creek.
Yeah.
By
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you notice
That's
that?
the rugged land down in
Did
there.
y'all notice that not so perfect Bigfoot
Yeah, Miss-
Victoria just named her show Muddy Creek?
she did. She changed it to
Yeah.
Muddy Creek.
I know.
Muddy Creek, really?
Why? Why?
You'll have to ask her.
I'll have to ask her.
Good answer.
Oh, yes.
Well, she's been
All right.
drinking coffee down by the river a lot lately, so maybe that. has
I
to do with
think
it.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been drinking too much coffee
Yeah,
down by
coffee by the
the
river.
Lights on.
Muddy Creek.
Good catfish in there.
Mm.
Oh,
I don't know.
is it New Year's there yet?
No,
Oh,
No.
10 o'clock. We're at 10 p.m.
a few hours.
We are an hour ahead of you guys, but
That's right.
Yeah, you're 10 o'clock. We're 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us what New Year's is like when you guys go through it. So we know.
It's still 7 o'clock at David's house, I think.
I was gonna say, what about David? His is different.
Yeah,
River already
7.
had New
What,
Year's.
7 there, isn't it?
7, yeah.
He just has a lot of
had New
bears.
Year's last
Rip,
night.
rip, bears.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
there's
were
like bears.
Rivers last night.
Rivers had New Year's last night. We
Rivers
were with
already did his
Rivers
first New
last
Year's.
night.
Nice.
I think I got Phyllis, I got a phone call from River or whatever it was at like, 2:00 in the morning?
That was probably me calling.
Yeah, I saw this. I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh, wow.
Say Happy New Year.
It's a Happy New Year's and good rule on you.
Aw.
Last
Yeah, that's
night
one
I had
good
to do
one.
the Irish goodbye because I was about to.
We know about that, Jeffrey.
And I told them
We saw the Irish goodbye last
I
night.
tried to get out of my chair and I ended up sleeping here last night
Okay.
in
No.
the corner.
Nothing wrong with that. Wherever it's comfortable, it's good.
And then I woke up and went to work.
Oh,
And I know you did. I had to take my car and
Oh, to be that
get
guy
it
again.
fixed today. My baby had to go to the hospital.
we got the car fixed. We are ready for the next road trip. We're ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Yeah, Squash and Holler. Yeah, I'll be going to his part of town one of these days.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to pass through our town.
Well, yeah, kind of.
That means you got to pass by us, Jerry. So
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I've been to
we'll
Murfreesboro
meet you
several
down,
times.
Rogers, if Roger invites us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to invite myself, Roger.
I'll just
Roger.
invite myself where we want to go.
The Bigfoot ambassador,
That's right.
I'm the Bigfoot ambassador.
she'll be out there.
Come on. Where do y'all want to go? Let me know and I'll get us there.
Wow, she got the mad hookup.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and she'll
guess
bring
it
the
is.
Bigfoot in.
And I will bring the Bigfoot in because he met me, didn't he?
I don't know how to explain it.
5 minutes
I don't know how
into
to explain it.
I guess we can say Happy New Year to River.
Oh,
River's in the New Year.
It's in the chat.
Happy New Year, River.
Happy New Year, River!
Happy New Year, River.
I'm yelling.
We love River.
We love River.
One of our favorite people in the whole wide world, isn't he?
Quee,
Okay,
brother.
Hillary.
He was showing us pictures of more of his artwork last night.
Oh, yeah.
God, he's
turtle is really good.
awesome. He's awesome.
No, I'm not going to LBL. I can't. I'll be going near Spencer here in end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be right down the road from
Here.
Spencer, actually.
How far is Spencer from you?
Oh,
6 hours, 5 hours,
Yeah.
6 hours, around something like
well,
that.
Oh,
we're
Holler
looking into
can't
buying a
hear me.
camper eventually here.
Yeah, we are. We're looking at buying a camper because
Highly recommend
I
it.
don't know if I want
Yeah.
to camp on the ground forever. I'm old.
We got everything we need to camp. We have like a kingdom of ground camping tents and stuff.
And Jeremy gave at Christmas. They gave us all kind of camping stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, and my little brother just bought a brand new camper, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's making me jealous." Yeah,
Yeah.
The sherbets.
got to keep up with the little brother.
Sherbets.
So
I figured I could just like rent a van and camp in a van down by the
Yeah.
river.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
like John Candy, a van down by the river.
Chris Farley.
Farley.
Saturday Night
Van down by
Live.
the river.
I used to live in a van down by the river.
Figured if I could just go rent one of those U-Haul vans, I wouldn't have to go buy a camper. I
there
just
you go. Yeah, just for the weekend.
We've been talking about that too. We've got the tent, we've got the big air mattress, and I said, why don't we just buy a truck that we can just lay the seats back, sleep in that, have a tonneau cover on the back of the truck, load all our
Put on some warm
gear in
clothes.
there.
I'm okay.
At least it'll be warm all the time. We've slept in the cold weather, we slept in the rain with your
Yeah.
tent sleeping and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can turn it on.
I've done camping trips in the backcountry where first day it's snowing, the next day it's raining, and by day 3 it's 70 degrees. I built what looked like a hobo encampment.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's
It
me.
It was raining so hard in West Virginia. The other guys were still out they were still out hunting. I said, I'm gonna go set up camp so I don't have to sit here in the rain all day. And they didn't even recognize the area when they came back because they had come down the ridge. They thought they were at the wrong campsite.
I got him.
Once you have an RV, it's hard to travel
Yes.
without one.
I was taking
Me.
paracord and running it up through the trees and pulling this tarp up by myself. It looked like a whole hobo encampment when I got done. I had to get them to help me because one of them's a little taller than the two of us, so we were a little height challenged at reaching things.
Yep.
All right, we had to mute for a second there.
Hey, we gotta go.
We've been
Sorry. I know you're gonna miss us.
see festivities. You're
But
calling.
my son, he has rules for his mom.
We have rules to play.
We have rules. We have rules to play by. And there's a fire pit that John bought him for Christmas, and now he
Oh, and by the way,
chopped up
I
wood.
went out and cut wood today with the old axe. You know, the old man. The old man cut wood today.
We'll do
How
that.
about that?
He's
That's
got
terrible.
guns. I love his guns.
Unloading those freight trucks at Home Depot every night keeps me in shape. And this one here keeps me in.
Easy.
PG,
It's a
PG.
family show.
Go there.
Family show here.
Family show.
It's a
We let Farrakha in, so I guess
it is not an
we're in
X-rated
trouble.
channel.
Oh, golly.
It's all good.
Guys, we had a great time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank
we-
you. It's fun.
We love you guys.
Yeah,
We
we
do.
love you
Yeah.
guys.
There may not want a Sunday because we already told our story.
Yeah, there's more to the
Yeah,
story.
there's
But wait,
more.
there's more.
More.
Spencer can't hear anything.
And we have pictures.
We have pictures. We
I
do.
know.
Yeah,
Hey,
No, we
Phyllis.
don't.
we have pictures. We haven't even done the audio yet. I've got audio.
No, we might have to send the audio to Spencer.
Yeah.
We we have a loyalty to the woodwalkers, We
And
love the
And Jeff and
woodwalkers.
Jerry.
And Jeff and Jerry and
I tell you, it's
and
one big,
Jason.
great family. Really.
Absolutely.
It is.
It is.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna go burn something up. Okay.
We'll figure out how to get out of here. Love you guys. Thank y'all so
I
much
do.
tonight.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Thomas. Bye.
See ya.
There was like
What
a
a hoot.
reverberation going on or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How you get two
I
people
can-
talking on one microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was
cool.
fun.
I like this. They
Yeah.
got good stuff.
There was a viewing hole there. That's
Yeah.
watching the back of Flat Rock's house.
Yeah.
Mm.
That place is another one that needs to be on a bucket list.
I watched Bud and Angie from
On a
there.
what?
Bucket
They had,
list.
when Angie saw something.
Farrakh is hearing words.
Just
Bucket,
know that we're still here.
bucket,
Backstage.
Farrakh,
Sorry,
bucket,
I was a joke.
bucket list, not the other whatever
Yes.
you were coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
with. Bucket list.
Good. Yeah, we watched the Bud and Angie from Flat Rocks when Angie saw
Yeah.
something out in the woods.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
Yep.
I didn't see that.
yeah. Bigfoot's just walking around Flat Rocks in there cooking dinner.
Sucks.
I walk past the window and he just waves at it.
Hey, it's me, Bigfoot.
Hey, there he is.
Pretty soon it'll be on first name basis, probably.
Yeah. He's gonna be making it dinner.
Oh, I don't know about that. I wouldn't advise that.
Burgers.
It's just gonna be sitting at the front door.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Power tools is coming
Greg's
on.
probably. Greg, next thing you know, Greg's gonna be teaching it how to comb its beard. At one of his house.
I just watched a show with him from 2 years ago. He didn't have a beard. He just
He didn't
had
have a beard
beard
back
buzz.
then.
It looks crazy.
It's Baby Greg. Baby
Yeah.
Greg.
Baby Greg. Yep.
David. Hey, David.
Yes.
Shh.
I know,
I know, man. It's just like,
Telling you, man.
He's listening for bears.
The squeaky toys have disappeared. I haven't heard any in a while.
Oh, he's got people sleeping already, I guess.
Oh.
He's sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
Dogs.
yeah, you notice Dee Dee come in here and turned off all the lights.
Man, you all go to bed earlier there in Oregon.
Hey, here's something
Apparently.
interesting, Chad. Here's one for you, Chad. Oops, that's the wrong one.
I was going to say that.
There you go.
Color
you go.
of Bigfoot into my beard.
That's a good idea.
He
Well, I
could
can
do
talk to
it.
my beard person and see if she can do it. I'm down. I'll try it.
Yeah, but then you would have that done, and then like the next time you would try to style it, and it wouldn't line up, and then it would freak you out.
Yeah, probably.
That's probably
It would be doing that. What do you call it? It would be, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shimmering or
Shimmering. Yeah. It just blame it on shimmering.
Yeah.
I don't have any
probably.
tattoos yet, but I'm still thinking about getting one of Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, Chad would do the tattoo.
I
That
don't
way it
either.
would be permanent and straight every
I
day.
don't
Well,
need
actually,
any
Greg
damn
sent me pictures of his tattoos when we
Greg
first.
has some awesome tattoos.
He does, and I don't want to steal the one he has of the the ancient Bigfoot that was on the Indian. I don't know how to explain it. That's the only one I was kind of want to get as well. It's so cool. It's
The
like
ancient one? Yeah.
yes, that's cool. And then add a UFO above that one. That would be something I would do. But
Greg's got some awesome
he
tattoos.
does. He does.
beard foot. There you go.
Beard foot.
Whatever.
Are you cold, Chad?
You know what?
No, you got a
Did you
toe
see my
boggin on.
Can you see my nipples? Or they?
I mean,
No,
Bernie
you got
over
a toe
here,
boggin
Bernie's cold too.
I
He's
did it
got
because
his
David
hat
had one on.
I'm gonna get my banky in a minute.
Yeah, t-shirt on.
I did it because David had one on. I like David's hat, so it was like,
I didn't know. I didn't hear. Sorry.
I see it's green now. Before I couldn't tell if it was green or black. Or
Yeah, I can finally see it now too since he turned the light off.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to midnight or not.
I don't think I am. I'm barely
get up
holding
early.
on with it. I went and got some caffeine, so
Work.
I'm
That's all this freaking place does here is work.
mm.
Getting old.
This week's weather and just
what are you guys supposed to get this coming week?
it's gonna get cold
Let's
as
get
hell
cold.
this weekend.
Yeah,
You guys got any blizzard or snow things coming up?
not that I know of.
We don't get snow like we used to.
Okay, good.
Do we,
When
Jerry?
the nor'easter hits here, we'll let you know because we'll be the ones whining we can't get out nowhere
Yeah.
because it snows by the feet then.
No more of that.
And I'll look like a popsicle.
Yes, you did that one time. You came
A
in.
very large.
We've had 59 inches of rain already this winter.
What?
59.
Yeah, they've had a ton of rain.
And we're behind.
Mm.
Yeah, we get like
I
100
look
inches.
like a giant icicle is when I'm out feeding calves. That's how,
Aw.
Yeah, we moved here. Well, obviously we moved here from Ohio. In Ohio, we got like some pretty cold, snowy winters. But we moved here to Tennessee, and all our neighbors are like angry with us because apparently we brought all the cold weather and snow down with us.
Yes.
well, you
Yeah, like,
guys are in Ohio, so you were up here near the cold stuff.
Yeah, and down here, I thought it would be like winters of maybe in the 40s for lows, 30s for lows. They're expecting us to be -4 wind chill coming up.
Whew.
Wow.
No thanks.
Chance of snow on my
Oh,
birthday Monday.
I always loved when I went to my grandparents' place down in Florida that they used to have, because you go there in January and it'd be like 40 degrees, but you could still wear shorts and a
Wow.
t-shirt.
Yeah. And that's what I said moving here is like 50 degrees in Ohio. I was like, winter coat and everything else, but 50 degrees down here, I'm walking around in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't know.
That one time I was down there and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get a frost warning. We gotta cover our fruit bushes." And I'm like, "You guys get a frost warning in Florida?"
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's when it's cool because all the lizards fall out of the trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's froze this morning.
What part
Yeah,
of Florida? Any part of Florida.
Florida,
Northern part.
Florida is great in the wintertime. I don't like going there in the summertime, but it's pretty nice in the winter.
Yeah.
I went there once in October and it was hot as hell.
Oh wow.
In October. I guess that would be about.
Oh, yeah.
This year, I think it was October.
Wasn't hot though.
It wasn't hot as hell. We were in Miami one year in January, and it was like in the 60s at least. But people were bundled up in their winter gear. I'm like, come on. The locals, you're like, oh, they're definitely locals. They were in like
Shorts and a t-shirt.
I mean, maybe like pants and a sleeveless top or something, but shorts and t-shirt kind of stuff.
What makes me laugh is when you hit September and you see people like start putting like coveralls on. I'm like, it ain't that damn cold out.
Yeah,
Act
Jamaica
like
got an
freezing
inch of snow,
does.
yeah. I think I remember that.
That's like the old timers wearing long sleeves in the summertime. I can't. No.
Yeah, I don't
I
get
think,
that.
well, to me, it's something I don't understand because I haven't felt it yet. But they say that it can make you cooler, I guess, with maybe, the cotton fabric. But also for sun protection. I think a lot of them have done it for that reason.
If you see a lot of the people working on yards, they've got it's 90 degrees out and they've got hats, face masks, long sleeve shirts, long pants, and I'm like, there's no way I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of our old helpers. That was out on the Crystal River in Homosassa.
Hi, audio.
That was a fun place. My aunt still got a place down there. But for whatever reason, she bought one of those, ground level ones that's on the end of a canal. And of course, all the new houses have to have stilts. And every time it floods, oh, Lord.
I've got a funny story. So my grandparents lived in just south of Ocala, Florida. And they lived on two big lakes. One of them was Lake Eustis. I can't remember what the other one was. But they lived all of their backyards. They all had boats, and they all had canals back there. And
That ain't all they had back there.
Yeah, I was probably anywhere from 5 to 12. And, my parents would be like, why don't you go play by the water and catch some fish? And I never thought about that till I got older. And I'm like, wait a second. People were losing their dogs to alligators in the backyard. And my parents were sending me to the water to play.
Yep.
See?
Well,
Wrong.
you guys remember when that kid got taken by the gator at Disney a few years back?
Oh, yeah.
They had to start posting signs everywhere when we were down there because people can't pay it.
Yep.
People just need to freaking pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
before we left Ohio, there was in one of our rivers, there was gator found. And I'm like, okay, we kayaked weekly in the river one of the rivers that it was found in. I'm like, yeah, we ain't kayaking no more.
Gary, there was one a couple years ago up here. Somebody found one.
And I blame that on pets being let loose.
Yes.
Now, here's a prime example of, me being not part of the general public and having common sense, we were down there and in Disney years. Oh shit, this is probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago. There was. Well, first we got there and we're riding around on the golf cart talking to the driver taking us to our room, and I think what was the name of that? It was Port Orleans Riverside, and one of Disney's hotels, and there's signs all over the place. This was right after what had happened with the kid, and there were signs everywhere that said, "Stay away from the water. Dangerous." Poisonous snakes and alligators. And I said to the guy, I was like, does anybody even read that? He's like, they're all stupid. He's like, no one pays attention to those damn things.
Mm-hmm.
And we were walking down one of the paths and went over to see where one of the little fishing areas where they have where you got there and fishing with cane poles and stuff. And I'm watching where the river boat comes through, and none of the boats were in the channel. And I'm watching a bubble trail.
Oh, nice.
Coming right down the middle. And I'm like, well. And it was a big bubble trail. And my ex-wife's looking at me going, is that? Yeah.
Was it a Bigfoot?
That's exactly what you think it is.
Snorkeling Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, judging by the amount of bubbles that gator, because I used to see him in Florida all the time, that gator couldn't have been any less than 8, at least.
Oh.
And he was just right there in the middle of everything.
How do you know how old it is?
I can figure out how big it probably was because I used to see him all the time. I'd fish right next to him at my grandparents' place. But just imagine having that right under your nose. And I mean, even a small one is anything, even a 6-footer or less could snatch a kid.
A 2-footer. I don't want to mess with any of them.
No.
I mean, their teeth are bigger than mine, and they're going to win. So
It'll cause damage for sure, if not. Oh.
Yes, we do, David.
You got Chad, Eric. It'll be all right.
yeah, okay.
That's what really worries me. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it was Catherine. Oh, I meant to send that post.
Roger's on it tonight.
So is
Going
anybody
in and out of a portal.
Yeah, when you back up.
It's that magical virtual background deal. I can just stoop down or sit. Never mind. Just do this.
Yes.
Wave high.
And I was thinking back to what you said earlier, Chad,
And he
about
starts again.
what the scariest thing was.
Yes.
It was West
Yeah.
Virginia.
West Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not your most recent. However, it was which you think was a Dueo encounter.
Well, that
Okay.
was the
Okay.
scary one.
Yeah.
That was West Virginia.
How do you know I don't go in and out of a portal, Roger?
Yeah.
By the way, Roger, he likes to mess around and chat, but anytime you send him a link, he just ignores it.
Aw.
Roger's a punk. He's a punk.
No.
Yeah, he's a punk.
No.
Calling him out.
I
Roger,
just
what are you doing right now?
I just watched an old Pullman video from Chapel Hill, Tennessee, after 1990 something.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Old video.
Roger says, I'm not even drinking.
Okay.
I mean, it's 10:27. We're only an hour and a half away from New Year here, so.
Come on, Roger. I mean, Jerry, is
just come
it
on to
okay
the
if I
show.
invite Roger?
Oh, I don't care. Invite him in. Share the link to him. He won't do it if I send it to him. So
Well, I can't. I don't know. That's up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Come on.
Now we're going for a
Not
record.
computer savvy yet.
We're going for a record.
We're only at 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're good.
Yeah, I'm not in. Uh
If that keeps up,
oh.
oh, it's like something's reaching in and just pulling everything, man. It hurts.
Oh man, sorry, Jerry. That sucks.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Thursday.
my back right
Run it
now.
on down yonder to him, if you would, please. Thank you.
My back is not feeling great from hauling those tires over yonder today.
Yeah, I bet.
How big
We'll
are those
see.
I know
tires?
you got me blocked, bitch. I know you do. Wow.
How big were those tires, Jeff?
Well, the skid loader tires aren't too terrible to move around. It's the wagon tire because it's like it probably sits like up to here where my desk is.
So about 1.5 feet off the ground. Oh, your desk.
Yeah. Where my hand is, it's from here to the floor. It's a big tire.
Poor Jeff.
He's gullible. He enjoys it.
He's one of those guys. He would rip somebody's head off though when he got mad.
He can't reach him.
Oh man,
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Jeff probably has like the Hulk strength.
he probably does. He's lifting those tires up barehanded just in the back of the truck.
Honestly, just one of the nicest people you ever meet in face to face in public.
I believe it.
Very laid back. Very laid back.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like what was General Mattis's motto? Be polite, be curious,
Oh, yeah.
but have a plan to kill everybody that you meet.
Yeah.
I get a crick in my neck though after a few minutes talking to him. Because I'm constantly like this.
Oh man.
That's because I look like I'm happy. It doesn't mean I'm not planning for if things go sideways.
You have your good days.
Now, you get the angry bunyip occasionally.
So do you. Believe me.
It requires a lot to elicit that response.
I think he enjoys whenever I'll call him when I'm on my way down and get her from the hospital. He gets to hear all the explicatives when I'm driving through that stupid Bel Air traffic.
Oh, now come on, you guys don't curse like Erica.
No, that's horrible. Absolutely not.
My girlfriend does the same thing when she's driving.
Oh, you should hear this one.
It's not that bad.
Let's
It's
just
not
say
that
if
bad.
my girlfriend had a bullhorn,
Really?
she'd probably get arrested. That's
Yeah, there you go, Hillary. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Yeah.
yeah. Now, my girlfriend would get arrested if she had a microphone while she was driving because she'd probably be.
Okay. Now, real quick. Okay, give me 1 second. Roger, you were sent a link. So don't tell me you didn't see no link. Okay. Anyway.
That's right.
But anyway.
Come on, everybody! It's New Year's Eve. Let's go.
Mhm.
No,
How
you
about you, Chad and Erica? What's your most scariest?
You can go first on that.
I don't know.
Really? I've always been, when I was young, like I'd say up until about 13, I was afraid of everything. But there's no particular incident that's ever stuck out. Unfortunately, I'm a fight or flight guy, and I'm just one of those people that if I'm scared, if I think I'm going to die or something's going to beat the crap out of me, then I'm going to face it and deal with it. If it's done well for me, I mean, my nose might be a little crooked in some areas, got a few broken bones. You know, I went through my medical list with you guys the other day. I've really never short man syndrome, and I'm sure Jeff has it. You know, I'm only 5'9", but I've always had to prove myself.
My Lord. Another sub 6 foot person.
He's 3 inches taller than me.
He's a giant, huh, Jeff?
Oh, look, he went through hair, makeup, powder. Beer, shirt, glasses, hat. Guess who's here?
You had to get a beer.
Ladies and gentlemen. Squatch and Holly.
The Muddy Creek water.
Sanja.
Hey, Roger Williams.
Hold on.
I had to put the
get
beer
where I see
down
the
and go
comment.
get some caffeine to wake up.
I went, y'all. Speaking of Chapel Hill,
Yes.
we're in Cornersville. We're on the south end, and Marshall County is kind of a long, from north to south, and we don't have a grocery store. And then Lewisburg's got a couple. I drove all the way to Chapel Hill just to get some good groceries today, and I've been eating all day long. Hold on.
You forgot your eyeshadow, River said.
Oh, the last time I did that, everybody thought I got beat up.
Roger, you probably could have gone and shot a deer and skinned it out faster.
Well, Peyton said, my son said today, he said, man, I really want to go hunting tomorrow. He said, but I just want some backstrap. It's a lot of work for that. I'm like, yeah, he's getting old. He's 27, I think, maybe 28. I don't know.
Hell, I put
hey,
6 in the freezer this year.
Y'all, I don't get alerts on my messenger. And Jerry sent me that link, and I'm thinking the whole time I was like, man, this would be a cool show to get in on. And I had a link for 2 hours, and I saw it after the show. I was like, oh crap. But
it's all good.
Well, you know why I don't get alerts on ask me why I don't get alerts on Messenger.
Why don't you get alerts on Messenger?
How did he get my alert on Messenger?
I got it. I just didn't get an alert that it was there. I went and checked.
Oh, notification kind of thing.
Ask Wendell why I don't get alerts. He used to call like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, oh my god. I just got on silent. So that's why
I can understand that for 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why me and Wendell pick with each other. So it's like we hate each other, but we do it in fun.
I never thought about doing that, but I'm usually up by 4:30, 5 o'clock. So
are you off tomorrow, Jerry?
I don't get it.
You work from home. You're your own boss.
Yeah, she's got to work the
There's been times Rivers called me when I've been getting up to go to the barn.
Yeah.
Now, the eyeshadow.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm just now seeing some of this, y'all.
Are you seeing it all?
I got my glasses adjusted and everything. So how's everybody doing?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where that female voice is coming from. I don't see any females on the camera.
I heard that.
Mine?
Where's Erica?
It's not.
I'm doing some kitchen stuff real quick. I can't reach my head over there.
She's doing her womanly things.
Yeah. I'm making my rounds. I had to turn off.
No comment.
What took so long? I had to match David. I had to find my Bigfoot hat.
Oh, yeah, check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking good, brother.
I was asking Heather, where's my Bigfoot hat? She said, which one? They're scattered everywhere. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Nice. I love it.
I got the world's. I love this Bigfoot t-shirt. She got that for me for Christmas. I love it.
Well,
That's the background.
It's easy to buy for us now. I mean,
oh yeah, easy gifts.
Well, see that big metal cutout back there was my Christmas gift for my girlfriend.
Hey,
it's probably the one behind his head on.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
I love that.
Yeah, my son got me that big sign that Greg has behind him, U.S. Forestry Service.
Yeah, I have one of those.
I got one of those for Christmas and a big cutout of Bigfoot with.
Yeah.
It's got like raccoons in it, the image and stuff. It's cool.
She's bought me a bunch of Bigfoot signs.
Yeah.
Sign the state park
awesome.
and stuff. They're all in the windows of our RV.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
My family, Heather's side, they haven't known me really long, and so I think it's kind of struggle for them to buy for me until a couple years ago. Then everything got outed. I was on the phone. Well, Heather was on the phone with her sister, and she lives in Missouri. They have a ranch in southwest Missouri, but they live in northwest, just south of Kansas City. And nobody on that side of the family had heard anything about Bigfoot. Well, we're on. I don't know if I told y'all this. She was on the phone with her on speakerphone, and so I walked in. I got finished with the show. I just started my little channel, and I walked in and, hey, how you doing, Rhonda? And she, what have you been doing? And I was like, Heather said, well, he's got a little show. What's it about? Bigfoot. And she paused.
Yeah.
I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And she said, oh, Heather, didn't I tell you about the one that me and Tempe, her other sister, didn't I tell you about the one we saw? It was huge. It was white. Walked right across the road in front of us, and stepped across the fence. Went across the field one night, and said it was huge. And I'm like flipping out. I'm like, holy crap! And it was just around exit 37 on I-65. And Chad, you can look that up. It's yeah, you're right, Wendell. And I was expecting that, he's a loony, whatever. And Heather was like, I've never heard that before. And this happened in, I think it was 05-ish to 08, somewhere right in there. But yeah, I mean,
One camera drinking.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Cool.
It's funny because I just got into this. Well, last year when I met Roger, that's when I've always believed in it, but last year when I met Roger is when her and I started getting into this, and I have no problem. I've described how I am to you guys, telling people that, oh yeah, we're going to go do a meet and greet about Bigfoot, and people just look at you like, huh? I don't care, man. But it is what it is. I mean, I believe it, and I think there's more people out there that believe it that'll let you know.
Well, you don't get the looks like you used to. I mean, I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
And every now and then something would tell me to say something. A lot of times it's like fishing, I could get by with it more when I was in my teens, but I started shutting up a little more when I got older. But, every now and then somebody there was a teacher of mine. He was a football coach, and he was an algebra teacher, and he was I ended up playing poker with the group in later years, and he's just one of those guys that didn't talk. And when he did talk, he made his point, and he'd sit back and listen to everybody. He'd laugh, whatever, but he never talked a lot. And he's actually my buddy Don, the former game warden. He's his brother-in-law, and I didn't know that. And we got talking about it one day, and he's seen two. He was rabbit hunting one time with his brother, and they said they looked up ahead of them, and something was peeping out behind a tree. And one, I don't remember which one, he said, oh man, look, there's a bear. And it pivoted and turned, and his broad shoulders was walking away from them down it was a cut for a tractor, to get from through the woods to the other field or whatever. So he said what it did, it walked away from them from a few steps and then veered off to the left into the woods. And they're like, and his brother said, that's not a damn bear. That's, I don't know what that was. He said, I know what it was. I've seen one before. And it was, they were carrying a kid home from football in probably the mid 80s. And over where I used to hunt, very familiar with this area. It was a power line cutout, but it's really rural area. So the fences were, just good enough to keep the cows in. It wasn't, wasn't brand new fences. And they were coming over after they dropped the kid off. And they came over the little rise, and in the dip, there was one in the road. It was already walking across. It looked at him, stepped across the fence, and kept going up that power line. And Jerry asked the guy I'm talking about, he asked the other coach, he said, did you see that? He said, hell no, I didn't see nothing. He said, me neither. So that was back in the time where
Right. You didn't talk.
you didn't talk about it.
Right.
But years later, it's surprising how many people now, we always talk about this, once they find out that you do know a little bit or think you do, they'll pull you to the side, you know, and a lot of them won't text you because they don't want a record of it, you know, and that's more credible to me. If somebody says, "Hey, I want to be on your show," I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." But if they come to you and say, "Look, don't you tell anybody. I don't want, you know, we'll meet somewhere and I'll talk to you." That right there, what do they got to gain?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it when that happens.
And that's what I've been saying is there's, you know, so many people we've met in the past 6 months that we've heard the stories, and there's way too many people for me to say this is bullshit. You know, it's like all these people have seen, heard the experiences they've had. I'm okay. You know, who am I? You know, I can't deny anybody. It's obviously a thing. And Jeff and I were talking the other day. Jeff sent me a thing on Messenger, a video, and I went. It was I think a Bigfoot howling or something howling, and I was reading the comments, and people were just so hateful about it.
Yes.
And I'm like, how can these people be so hateful? Why are they denying it? A mythical creature. How the hell do you know it's a mythical creature? Who are you?
I think that was about when the 2 guys died up in Skamania.
Yeah.
Was what
I did see that where the news officially called it.
You sent that, but it was the one where it was howling.
That was.
There's no way. I mean, quit being this way, people. Open your mind. You know,
somebody's like, "Oh, it was wolves." I'm like, that don't sound like any damn wolves.
Well, Chad, I'm gonna tell you something. We get into this and we meet. You know, like right here, we've got a lot of people in here. We're around each other a lot. You know, through video or texting or social media, and we go meet each other at these meet and greets or get to be friends and go to their houses, get to go out and look for tracks or whatever. And I fell into this last year, the year before last now, thinking everybody knew about this, you know, and then it did slap me in the face a couple of times because it's still just a small portion of us, but we all kind of gather together, and it's surprising to see. Like you're right, you start reading the comments on some of those stories like that, and I used to get upset about it, but now I realize that they're the uneducated ones. So I've kind of stepped over that, and I do realize too that, you know, to most people that don't know the stories and hear what we hear, they still think of Bigfoot as a monster, as this boogeyman, right? And it scares them. And if there's a lot of people, you know, if they do make have a reaction, it's kind of that they laugh it off or whatever. But like if y'all talking about ghosts or and it scares somebody, they'll kind of laugh it off and move away. So I think our community is getting bigger, and the people we know is getting bigger.
Yeah.
But as a whole, it is growing. There's a lot. You're right. There's a lot more people that's more accepting of it, especially the government, government UFOs and all that. Yeah. But we got a ways to go still. But.
Well, I'm sorry, but when you can go on YouTube and find 50 different Bigfoot channels or channels talking about cryptids, UFOs, or whatever, and then there's all these different people in the chat, and you look at how many followers or how many videos of theirs have been watched, and you think to yourself, that's a hell of a lot of people. And that's just, most of the time you get your area. Yeah, there's probably out in California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, there's probably a lot more channels that we're not seeing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so it tends you to believe that there's a lot more people that believe in this.
It is.
And then the people that question it are either afraid to talk about it, or like you said, or they're just not open-minded enough to think that. I think the expression I just heard was, our world is so big. Somebody saying they haven't seen Bigfoot, I'm going to rough this up probably, is like somebody taking a spoon of water and saying there's no whale in here. You know what I mean?
All right.
I don't see the shark.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and you're right.
give it
And
time.
and one of the things I used to tell people, they're like, oh, I don't believe in that. And okay, somebody real close to me, we were on their land. We've had a lot of stuff happen, and so inevitably, I can't say that word. Somebody spell it for me. Inevitably, the subject came up, and so I'm listening. I've been here 30 years and I ain't never seen nothing. I ain't heard nothing. I've never, what I said, yes, but if you ever step foot on your place after midnight, well, no. I said, well, there you go. That's
Yep.
so and so to that point, I used to tell people kind of laughing it off. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, you're not going to find Bigfoot. If you say, I'll give you $1 million to catch me a 5-pound bass, you're not going to go to your bathtub, right? You're going to go somewhere where you got a chance,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And I used to get offended or whatever. Now it's just, if they knew the things we knew.
Oh, they'd never go in the woods again.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I still do. That's the crazy thing. But
Well, I have to say, sitting here at the end of 2024, Chad and I still will be the first to tell you neither of us have had an experience, but we do have the respect enough to listen to other people and hear their stories.
It's good.
yeah,
You know, we
That
know
counts.
not 100% of the people that tell stories are,
Experiences.
Yeah.
but we have that open mind and we have that respect to listen to everyone and hear their stories or hear their encounters, hear their experiences, hear their versions, whatever.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
right.
Somebody's
And
got
Erica,
something to tell you. You listen.
I'm sorry.
That's all you do is you listen. You know.
That's right.
I would never
Sorry.
I would never doubt anybody's experience. It's not something I can do.
You weren't
You know,
there. I wasn't there. So
It wasn't me. Yeah, I didn't experience it. So what if you guys experience something, then I'm like, then you've experienced something. And I hope maybe I have some sort of experience, maybe not face to face. I'll
Right.
take hearing one. I'll take one way away from me, but I don't know if
Driving down the road.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing early on. I was asking. I was interviewing somebody, and I was new at it, and they said something that was way out in left field, and I'm trying to poker face it, right? Because I'm about to bust out laughing. I'm like, this will be the end of my show and I'm thinking about it while they're talking. I'm like, now wait a minute, back up. In my head, they're talking, and I'm like, look, you have seen a Bigfoot, you have seen a UFO, you had all this ghost crap and premonition and shit happen to you, and because it's the same thing. Flip side, if I act like this, then I've got a closed mind about it, and I have no right to think like that because I'm telling my wild stories. And so at that point, I think I made a step forward, and I started, like you said, Chad, having an open mind, which I did mostly already. But when things they take a turn, and because when people started talking about, I was joking about the portal earlier.
Yeah.
When things start going that direction, well, I was mostly flesh and blood early on, and I'm not now.
My opinion has changed several times.
Yeah. Mine too.
And if your stance on a lot of this doesn't evolve, you're not open minded, and you may miss that piece of the puzzle we talk about if you shut your mind off. So
one thing we've learned from, like, let's go with tsunamis. These earthquakes that happen out in the middle of the ocean, and they have these gigantic waves that hit, and as soon as these pull out, we're finding sea life that we never knew existed.
Right.
So people are probably saying, that's not real, or that's not from the ocean, that's whatever. There's so much of the world that has not, our earth, our woods that have not been explored by man, that how can you say that something like that can't exist? I said on a past podcast that we're finding new life every day. You know, we have things go extinct, and then we find new life. So how do we know that something hasn't existed for so long that's been drawn on caves? I'm being repetitive. Drawn on caves, drawn on teepees, drawn on pyramids, drawn on whatever, and there they are. And then people say, "Well, those don't exist. Those aren't real." We know that our government is hiding giant bones from giants. We know that. If you don't believe that, then that's your thing. But it's true. It's real.
Well,
And
a big problem is we're desensitized. I don't know whether that's on purpose or what.
That's on purpose.
But the way I am, I can be driving down the road and get to thinking how a phonograph works, and my mind's blown.
Mm-hmm.
I know how it works, but how does it work? My
Absolutely.
radio, I know
That's
how
a
it
great
works,
example.
but how the hell does that work?
Right.
Nobody questions that stuff, And I'm like, I got to quit. That's what I'm always driving down the road, and I get distracted. And I'm like, there's amazing things all around us, and they're just everyday normal now, and we don't.
Yeah.
And so some of the stuff we're talking about is not that amazing to me. Bigfoot walking across a field is probably not as mind blowing as how this radio wave is coming from 80 miles away, and I'm listening to an exact copy of a band that played in the 70s. What the hell?
Right.
Well said. That's
right.
well said.
That's right.
Roger, wow. That wowed me, Roger. Good job. That's I like that.
Roger, you know what I was just thinking about? I never even knew really about the palm stuff with the M's until you brought it up.
You know what? And I've seen that a
And
lot
I've got
on social media since we
and
talked
I
about
never
it.
even knew that.
It's interesting. I mean, Don, y'all should have Don on one night. He was game warden for 12 years, but he's been in a lot of things. He studied. He used to hypnotize people and regress and go back to different lives and all that. And he's got cool stories. He's smart. He won't brag about it at all, but his IQ is like. It's like we're like the yin and yang. It's like he has these amazing thoughts, and I put it into the
Shut up,
ham and
Roger.
biscuits, right? Where like, oh, so this is what you're saying. He said, yeah, you're right. I don't know how to put it like that, but that's right. But and some of the things he talks about, and he touched on that M before with some of our 3-hour conversations, and my mind fills up, and I can tell. I get this feeling. I'm like, Don, you either got to shut up or we got to hang up, because I'm not absorbing any more tonight. I'm going to go for 3 weeks and roll this around in my head.
It's just rolling out my ears now. I can't.
Right, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done.
Blown.
When did you start speaking another language? Because it's not going in there. I don't know it, but that and he's so funny because he knows how it is, and so this conversation with him has been going on since the mid '90s. He gave me my hunter safety course when I was 10 years old in 1981. I still have the card somewhere. He was an instructor.
Nice.
So yeah, and everybody thought he was crazy. And Chad, some of the stuff that I know a lot of us keep up with it, but some of this stuff has been going on, and the powers that be around the world and who controls this or that. Hell, he was talking about this so long ago that I've got to see this stuff happen. He said, and I'll call him. You remember you talking about this? He said, yeah. He said, it's going to be in certain order, and it's happening. So
wait a minute. He's kind of on Alex Jones level. A little bit.
Alex Stone
Jones.
Alex.
I don't know if I know Alex Stone. You talking about that show? No.
Alex Jones.
Oh,
Jones.
I don't know. You talking about like being ahead of his time?
Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Jerry, you guys know who Alex Jones is?
I do.
Okay. He's a little out there, but
He does. He talks about a lot of
I-
crazy stuff.
Yes, Alex. Yes, I know who he
Maybe
is.
a
I'm
little
sorry.
premonition, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and
very
and
intelligent and very high energy.
yes, I know, and he's just Don, the difference between him and Don's just he'll sit there and smoke a cigarette and talk just as calm about some of the wildest crap. And I'm like, but when I'm ready, it seems like when I'm ready and I don't know that I'm ready, things come in. You know, they're exposed to me, and then I'm ready for that next layer of the onion, you know, and the palm thing, I don't necessarily believe everything, but it's interesting, you know.
Well, the weirdest thing for me is the percentage of people that haven't.
Yeah.
Well,
It's low, but there's a lot of us that are connected.
in this group, especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we've talked about that right here on screen.
Yeah. Sorry, David. No problem.
Eric and I, and Jeff, and I think Jerry does too, and I think you do too, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both palms.
Mark Green does too.
Yeah, I've got them. Yeah.
Yeah. Greg and Misty both palms, and I
Yeah.
think Spencer is too, but I think he cut them in because he don't fit he said this is all bullshit.
He had a tattoo artist make it.
But y'all, I'm gonna give him some credit. He's had some hard line stances over since I've met him, and he's softened up a lot because he's starting to see. You know, he's getting to that point where we were, and then you're like, wait a minute, haven't I heard this somewhere before? How's this connected? And then you get to looking at. I always thought, you know, what if you know, in school, what if the timeline's off? What if the this carbon dating? Who made that the rule? What if it's off? You know, we're just saying, okay, this is how old? Oh, okay, cool. And then you start seeing some of the things that shouldn't be here that's being uncovered. I tried to take some video the other day. There's a hill over here, and I looked at it one day and I thought, man, that looks like a pyramid because there's no trees on it anywhere. It just didn't look natural as everything else did. And I just went on. I passed that thing a million times. Well, Peyton and I were coming back from hunting a few weeks ago, and he looked up, and I don't know, he was driving. He looked up and he said, damn, that thing looks like a pyramid. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. And then did a little research. Cornersville, Tennessee, the original name was Marathon. And then there's a little connection. I didn't dig too far between Marathon, Greece, and pyramids and stuff like that.
Wow.
So anyway, like I said, I get too deep into that stuff, but I tried to take some pictures. It just didn't look the same. I'm gonna have to get out there and maybe jump out and get a few still pictures of it. But but when you see this stuff, it's everywhere. What was the one where the guy would go around in America and they were digging up and they were finding these stones that shouldn't exist with a certain type of writing and these marker stones and all that. Oh God.
I don't know the name. But ironically, we were watching like How the Earth Was Made or whatever the show is a day or two ago, and they were talking about how the icebergs and everything and how this rock was hundreds of miles away from where it originated. It was crazy. So
well, that'll come in. Look, information like that, it seems random, right? Heather and I, about 3 years ago, that we were in Wyoming. I have video of it actually, and we were going as many back roads as possible just to see non-touristy stuff. And so we're going through this this place, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. And I noticed these rocks, boulders, all different sizes, and I'm like, we've been driving through this part of the country, and I've not seen one of these. And where did they come from? Because a lot of times with the red rocks, you can see over the years where they broke off and fell, and there'd be a pile at the bottom, or there's one across the road as big as a house. It's been there way longer than the road has been. And I'm like, where did they come from? And I'm looking around, and I just blurted out, is this a glacial field? And Heather's like, what? I'm like, this don't make sense. But It did not make sense. Those rocks made no sense.
Yeah.
We came around the curve, and there's this one of these viewer things you put a quarter in, and you look up on
Yeah,
the side
yeah.
of the big hill, and there was this sign. It said, "You are in the biggest glacial field in North America."
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
holy shit. Sorry, but I'm like,
Watch
but
your mouth.
I'm sorry.
Watch your mouth, right?
But it's something I probably watched, a decade or two ago, and it just didn't make sense. But that's the way my mind works. A lot of times something doesn't make sense. It'll take me 20 years. It'll finally pop up like, oh, okay, that's what that was.
Well, it's funny because it's kind of simple, but I told Chad, I lived in Ohio for about 20 years, not quite. But I grew up in Middle Tennessee, and I was surrounded by these beautiful mountains. And we didn't do stuff like that growing up. We didn't take advantage of our beautiful area.
Yeah.
But as a very young adult, I started hiking and fell in love with the area. But even still, it was a few years after I moved out of state before I would go back to my hometown and notice the mountains in the background. And it seems so simple. You're like, once you see it, you're like, oh my God, that's silly. I can't believe I didn't notice that before.
Right.
But I just pointed this out to Chad a few days ago and told him, that story. It all depends on our perspective. I think it all depends on what we're going through at that time and, our history. And there's so much that goes into it. You kind of think it's silly, but at the same time, you could have ignored it for 5 more years. It just depends on what's going on.
You, after you go through some things, I know I live close to New Lake. It's a 27-acre lake. It's no big deal. I lived a half a mile from it, and I would open our store at 6 a.m. every morning, and I'm in my Mustang. I'm usually late flying, get down there to open it up. And in the later years, we had the store. If the sun was just right, coming up over that lake and reflecting in the lake, or there was fog or whatever, I'd pull that Mustang over and turn it off. I'd be 15 minutes late to work.
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy, he said, so-and-so said you were late opening the store this morning. I said, yeah, I pulled over and watched the sunrise. He said, okay. And I didn't do that when I was young.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate things like you do later.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever read the book The Outsiders with Pony Boy and Soda Pop?
Yeah, I had to read that.
And they're like, one of my favorite things was like when Pony Boy and Cherry were talking about the sun on one side of town or the other. It was kind of the same. You just got to look at it. You just got to notice. And he was like, yeah, I don't think Dallas ever noticed that, and he was focused on other things. And so reading a book like that, I read that thing. I'm gonna sound like a nerd. I read it 13 times in a row.
Oh.
Because it started with exact 2 sentences. It ended with the same. And I don't know why. I was at that age and I guess it was some of the dreamy part of Pony Boys that I kind of connected with, plus the greaser part too, because I definitely wasn't a soc. So, and I don't know, it was kind of nice to see that there was other people out there going through similar things, so anyway, but part of that, just that book, all that's in there, one thing that I left with was the natural stuff around you, appreciate it a little bit more, and I know that's the romantic part, or that's the writer in me or whatever, but man, it's the truth. It's and see, when you do that and you start noticing nature, we're talking about stuff in nature now. When you start paying attention a little more, that's when you start seeing things that are there that were there before. You just said it. You were talking about mountains, but we could be talking about tree structures,
Absolutely.
anything. Like I said, the glacial field, it didn't make sense. It was stupid. I'm like, where'd these rocks come from? Some of them are bigger than the truck, 3 times bigger. Some of them are, this big,
Wow.
and it don't make sense. Well, that was part of that. And if I hadn't watched that, special, whatever it was, I wouldn't have known. Y'all have to watch. God, it's Is Genesis History. I posted a link 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
but talking about the timeline being off, and the Grand Canyon being created over 100 million years or whatever. And I may have talked about this before, but this could change a lot, and it could explain why we're finding things underground that that wasn't underground, and you just maybe 300 years ago. But they tell us, no, that's 200 million years ago, and we just accept it.
That's because history is written by man, and man can write anything he wants.
Yep.
History is written by man and the victors.
Yep.
So,
Right.
we're gonna tell you what we want you to know. And we went to Smithsonian. It was an exhibit in Nashville when I was in middle school, and I was excited to go because we never got to do anything like that. And they had an exhibit, and the one thing that I wanted to see was a mummy, a real mummy they had from Egypt. And we got there, and I felt like tearing that place down. I said, "Where's the mummy?" "Oh, well, it's gone now. We moved it on to another city." I said, "This is the only reason I came up here was to see that." I wasn't being butthole, but I was I was so disappointed. But y'all, when we say all this is connected, it is, and it's more than just the big things. It's I don't know.
I think there's a lot of things in history that go on, or that have happened in history that have gone on, that they feel that us common folk would never be able to deal with. I know that I've seen stories about Egyptian stuff in the Grand Canyon. I've seen stories about all these different things that tie our planet together as far as one giant landmass. And then obviously it broke apart. But I was going to go earlier about, we talk about us humans, us humans, and how our land split apart. And then you have Asians, you have Africans, you have this, that, and the other. But has anybody ever mentioned that that's what could happen with the Yeti, the Bigfoot, the Yowie, all these different things, as they existed as well, just not in the numbers that we've existed.
Yeah.
Maybe we were the higher on the food chain at the time because there weren't as many, and we've wiped, we did our part to wipe them out, but they still exist.
And I tell you something, I haven't heard it much, but when people, how come we don't see them? We were talking about, Spencer and I were talking about, my buddy lives just north of Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky, and we were having that conversation the other night, and we were looking at how much undeveloped land is. Of course, we've been out Midwest, and David, you're out in the Pacific Northwest, and it's just people say how come we don't see them? How come they stay away from us? And there's a one small point. I didn't come up with it. I heard it somewhere one time, but I don't hear it much. And if maybe there were a bunch of them at one time, but everywhere we've moved to, we've spread disease. We've wiped out almost whole races of people with just disease. And so maybe what little ones were here, they knew. Maybe they've been through that before, so that's maybe why they stay away.
Maybe they are some sort of Homo erectus, all these different things. Maybe it's just a form of life that's still alive that we didn't recognize because we're looking at skeletons and bones instead of things that are still alive.
Check this out, Chad. I just had this thought when you said that. So what's the percentage of the brain that we use? About
the percentage of what?
Of our brain do we use? It's under 10%.
What?
Less than
2%, 1%.
So what if they were originally here? They're not drinking the water. They're not watching the TV, and they're using 30% of their brain.
I've said that over and over. I think there's a reason that all these chemicals in our food and our water are there to knock us down a few pegs to get us to be duller, less attentive, whatever. There's a few more awake people nowadays, I think, because a lot of people are stopping. They're not drinking the water. They're not drinking the fluoride. They're not taking all these different drugs in that we're given. And we have the ability to talk about possibilities.
Open-minded people ask questions.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's the worst thing. I told I was at work one time and some stuff was going on, and I'm observing this whole mess that was going on and not really saying much. And the person in charge was lying to everybody, and I had figured that out. And so what I like to do, I like to throw the pebble in the pond a little bit sometimes by making a dumb comment, but on purpose. And so this person brought up somebody that was lying. I said, you know what the worst thing that can happen to a liar? And they're like, what? Everybody get in the same room, start comparing stories. That son of a gun told us to unfriend each other on Facebook, which was illegal. That was just my confirmation. Nobody else knew what was going on, but that was my test. That was my little pebble, and to confirm what I thought I knew. And then when that started happening, I'm like, yeah, you're the one that's doing all this. So anyway, so the point is, when we all get together and start comparing notes, that's when you start looking at, who's doing all this stuff. So I heard, we're talking about UFOs and stuff the other day, and one of my favorite lines in a movie, if we watch movies now, some of the stuff we found out, and you go back and watch a movie from 25 years ago, and you're like, oh man, they were showing us right there. I mean, they're talking about that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the movie, and I may not get the line right, but it was in Independence Day, and it's when the grandpa is down there at Area 51 underground, and this, all this fancy equipment and all this, and the president says, where do we get the money to fund all this? And he's piped up. You don't think they're really paying $700 for a toilet seat, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
So and that was an aha moment for me. I right then I'm like, you know what? That could be the truth. I mean, look, I probably shouldn't tell this, but at work we make parts for things from space to the bottom of the ocean. Okay. And I'm not telling any secrets, but I'm in receiving, and I'll put the stuff in the computer, and then I'll find a place for it. It's kind of like a library. If I get a book in, I got to find a spot for it, and it's in the computer. And then when we need it, we'll go look it up, and we know where it's at. So, but I'll get this little screw that's got a fancy little hex head on it or something, and there'll be a bag of 100 or 200 or 500 or whatever, and they're $1.50 a piece or whatever. Then I'll get in for another project. It looks the same to me. It looks like the same part to me, but it's for another project, and that little thing's $200 per.
Mm-hmm.
And I just do my job. I'm like, the other day, here a while back, I had stuff that was going out in space that was had 24 karat gold on it, and I had almost $1 million worth of stuff in my hands like this right here, and it wasn't gold value, but it was what it was. And
that's how these black ops That's how these black ops all get funded. I mean, there's, when you look at, God, I hope we don't get.
Well, not that that's what you're talking about, but
yeah, no. The companies are legit, but what I'm saying is, I don't know, if I had a plumbing business and the people weren't paying attention, I could charge, whatever I wanted to for some pipe, just to add to put it in my pocket or whatever, or to do another job. It's just, but I think what brought the conversation up was the Doji department. That,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Elon and Vivek.
right. And they're already finding some stupid stuff, which we already knew was there, but we didn't know what they were called. And some of it's blowing people's mind. But I'm like, you probably the same way, Chad. You go, well, I mean, that's what we've been trying to tell you. You
Well,
know,
what part of our government gets audited and they can't find $8 billion that they were, we have no idea how much we owe or how much we've used or whatever.
all right.
It all
Do y'all
goes to-
remember? September years ago, we had an event that happened, and it changed everything.
Yes.
Well, nobody remembers September 10th hardly, but our conversation in the store on September 10th, Don was in there, my buddy Don, Archie, he's dead now. He was former military, been to a couple of different wars, and really good guy. He September 10th, the conversation September 10th was how we had lost almost $1 billion. They couldn't account for a lot of money, and I don't remember if it was the Pentagon or whatever.
I think it was the Pentagon, I think.
And guess where the office was?
In 7.
There's a big old hole right there in one of them. And then
when I'm going to do this, when building was 7, yeah, when that building, yeah, that's it. When that came down, there were a lot of government offices in that. And if you've ever seen the video, you know that it was done on purpose. There was insurance policies taken out on it. Just saying, Jerry, I'm sorry for talking about this, but
I know I'm trying to be. I know somebody personally that's not with us anymore that was being investigated for SEC violations, trading, whatever. And that office was in one of the towers. And after that day, they never got a call again about none of the paperwork, I guess, was there. The office wasn't there, so they didn't know. But that person is dead and gone now, so you can't come and say, who was it. So,
Right.
But anyway, but people might think we went off the rails a little bit, but all this stuff,
I think it all ties together.
it's smoke and mirrors too, though. Yep. It's the old 3-card monte thing. Like, well, why? Okay, drones, UFOs, drones, whatever. Okay,
here we go.
I'm sorry. No, that ain't what. But I'm just saying, hey, y'all look over here while I do this. I used to do a few card tricks. I hurt my back years ago, and I got some books, and I did the little sleight of hand stuff. And so just that simple, you get people to look one way, you make a move while you pull the con, right? And it's so simple. Yeah, I know. God, I'm sorry. There's so many rabbit holes.
Don't even.
I'm buying into this too, Jerry. I apologize.
Well, there's one show we did. I don't remember whose channel it was on, and Kubo started talking about NASA and how they were the last ones that were on the Challenger before it blew up. And then he had to go do investigations, and he told stuff that I don't think anybody's heard publicly. And I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna get this.
Jerry, your show?
Yeah, I'm waiting on the house to start shaking and somebody jump off on my roof.
The 6-hour marathon.
He was given like, I said, man, I wonder how long it took for from the blast to impact. He said, I know exactly how long it was, 6 minutes, 37 seconds. He just popped it off like that. And I'm like, whoa. And he told us what happened inside that capsule from the time it blew up till it hit. So there must have been video. He told us exactly what happened in that 6 minutes. And I'm like, oh crap. We might have just got everybody. And I don't remember what show it was on, but it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine.
That point up there.
I'm thinking it's probably a New Bill show.
Yeah, it could. I think it was probably Spencer's. I don't know.
It might have been.
But
Spencer
who? Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer who? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, this guy you knew, he's dead and gone now. You can't go look him up. But you know,
That's funny.
there's so much. I mean, sometimes sometimes drives me crazy. Like I don't try to connect everything, but then all of a sudden it just happens. And you like Chad, you know, I play the what if game sometimes, and sometimes it's right, but
That's why you play the what if game.
yeah, that's right. It don't take but one.
That's right. I tell everybody, question everything. If you really want to find the truth, question it, you know, and you're going to maybe find the truth. The more you question, the more you'll learn. Don't trust media. Don't trust people in that position. Go under, you know, look everywhere. And that's where you're going to find the truth.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there, and that's just simplifying it. But some of it's so good you don't realize it until later. Some of it's so old in the playbook you recognize it instantly. But with the Bigfoot and you know, okay, so the ghost stuff. A lot of people around here wouldn't talk about stuff like that until the shows became popular, and then everybody was, you know, I don't know about the equipment, I don't know if it works, I don't know if it can be manipulated, but it's cool to watch. And the reason I started watching ghost shows wasn't because I was interested in ghosts. It was the opposite of that. I was scared to death of that stuff because I've had stuff happen. And one day I was at home by myself. I just got a divorce or whatever, and I couldn't watch that stuff. And I said, you know what? You're almost 30 years old. Sit down, watch this bull crap. It's TV. It's just like Friday the 13th and all that stuff. Sit down and watch it, and then face your fears. And I binged on it all day, and it went away. It went away. Now I can watch more. You know, like there'll be a cherry move or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, you could do this like that. I mean, that's easy to fake, you know.
Right.
But I'm not saying everybody's faking. It's just
but you got to question it.
You got to, you don't, and I have no nothing against anybody that questions some of my stuff or whatever. I'm not going to tell any, and I'll be the first to say, I don't know. That's my favorite 3 words. I don't know. And
exactly.
I'm here to learn. I know I'm doing a lot of talking tonight, but I'm here to learn. I mean, if somebody's telling stories, I'm listening and watching how they tell the story, watching them relive it, and then sometimes they'll hit on a point that maybe something happened to me, and then I'll have a question, like you said. I'm like, wait a minute now, what do you think this was, or what were the conditions? What happened? You know, that's the only reason I'm doing this is to learn, and that's what I like doing. Why I like doing the interviews, because you can see people. You know, you'll talk to them beforehand. They'll be like, Jerry, y'all know this. Hey, come on, do my show. No, man, I don't do that. I don't know about getting on there. You know, whatever. I don't. People think I'm an idiot or I'm crazy or whatever, and I don't know. And then you'll see once they start, and you'll see them relax, and they'll get to talking, and it's natural, and they're reliving it, and I know that telling my stories helped me a lot. I mean, it did more good for me than I don't know. I was scared to death. If y'all listen to the Bigfoot Society one, that was it wasn't live, and I said some dumb crap. And when I mean dumb crap, I mean I used the wrong word in a couple of situations. And I sent Jeremiah a message that, hey man, can you clean that up for me? And I said, don't change it, but just like word. I said I knew I messed up as soon as I said it, and then I said I saw your face. You was trying to be poker face it, and he didn't change anything. But what I liked about him was and it wasn't really important. You know, he changed it a little bit. He took it out for me. You know, and he do, and it's hard. You can't do that with live, but you see people relax, and you see that it is helping, and you get a lot of times you get a message, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate that." If it's their first time, I thank you for doing that. Letting me do that. I feel so much better. I'm like, look, hey, you're part of the family now. Just hang out with us. Don't, you know. So anyway,
I've seen people like, so since I've joined your guys's all these different podcasts, I've seen people cry. I've seen people that are, you know, most of the people that I know, well, almost all tell the same exact story from 30, 20, whatever years ago, and nothing changes. So to me, that means that that's something that's stuck in their head. You're either the best liar ever, or this is real. And I'm going to always be, it's real. Until I can prove it's wrong, it's real. And I've got to listen to you.
well, they're working at the sheriff's department for a couple of years. I was in training for some things, so I was exposed to a little bit. It's not 100%, but there's a few little tips that how people,
Right.
you know, I won't get into that. I mean, it's not like I'm a super sleuth or anything, but there's a few simple things that you can watch out for. And I've been on, we just talked about this last night. We watched Juror Number 2. I've been on jury duty 3 times in my life, and had to do some of that. And, you know, you have to really pay attention, because there's people's futures at stake. You know, you
Sure.
you got to be paying attention to everything. So with me though, it's not about me trying to, I'll get a feel for somebody. like if they like if they're bored to death or whatever, and rubbing their eyes and yawning, and you know. So
I just didn't. I didn't sleep very well last night.
That's a tip. That's a tip to change the subject, you know, or speak louder or whatever. But
Talk over, Roger.
but I called Greg the other day, and he answered. And I'm like, as soon as he answered, I'm like, oh crap! I woke him up. Man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. Oh, I've been asleep about an hour and a half. And I said, no, man, let me let you go. You know, I'll call you back later. Oh no, it's good. I'm glad you called. And he said, what'd you want? And I started telling him a story. 2 minutes, he was snoring. I just hung up. I ain't talked to him since. I don't even know if he remembers me calling or not.
I did that to Mark Green a couple weeks ago.
Oh me. But you know, I think if you do it for the right reasons, it all works out. So, and I've got all these ideas, I just don't have the money. I mean, I think a lot of us do. I would do things a little different, and I love the way some people do the documentaries. I don't have anybody that has the skills to edit like that. One of my buddies, I made a lot of friends, all y'all, and I made a lot of friends that can do technical stuff, and I bounce ideas off of them sometimes and ask them about equipment and all that. But it's a lot of work, you know, just to do the this little type show I do. I mean, but I love it, and like I said, you know, when it helps somebody, it makes it even that much better. And poor David, golly, I hollered at him one day, hey, you want to do a show? And it was just a relaxed, you know, I didn't even do any preparation or anything. And he was telling the story, and I was making jokes, and we were cutting up. I thought it went well. And I had a couple people sent me a message there and said, poor David, he didn't even get to talk. You were running your mouth. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey, Roger, I loved it, man. Seriously, I loved it.
And I thought it went well. And,
Me too.
You know, and I was making jokes, and it wasn't, it was a different, what was it, Subscriber Spotlight? We were just
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was fun. But fun. You had some people take up for you, though. I didn't tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good, man. It was fun.
They shut up, let him talk. I'm like, well, we were talking to each other, but man,
Poor Jeff.
I know.
It's a battle tonight.
I know. It's 10:30 here. Have y'all made it to midnight yet?
It's
11:30.
we got
We got 38 minutes. 28
Well,
minutes. Sorry.
I'm probably gonna get off here and go watch
28
the
minutes.
thing
to
with
go.
Heather and
well, Jerry.
See
We
ya.
got 28 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
See you,
Yeah.
Pyro.
See you later,
I wish
Pyro.
you could super see me in.
See ya, Pyro.
Hey, where did
Pyro.
Jared? You said you were coming down close to Chapel Hill. When was that?
Sometime.
Okay.
Yep.
I was watching. What was it? It was something about. It was the one that Richard. It was Chrisman in chat. He sent me. I had said something about we went to Sedona. Well, we went through Sedona one time. We stopped, but I didn't know about Sedona, Arizona. And it's weird how some of these places I've been to that I didn't know about until later. We did get out and go to the church and all that, but I always told people it had an odd feel to it, you know. But there was a guy there. It was Bradshaw Ranch, I believe.
Yeah,
That
it's the
ranch out
other.
there. And he said he has equipment where he's actually measured the vortex. And he's an electrical engineer, some genius or whatever. He said that because of all I think it was iron ore and the red rocks and stuff, makes it a perfect like a radio antenna for all that activity.
Yeah,
And-
Bradshaw's like the new Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about it. I think he said Brendan Fugel tried to buy it to do some research or whatever.
Lincoln.
But
Sorry.
y'all, I'm gonna get off here and go hang out with my wife a little bit.
Aw.
I did this last New Year's Eve. We did a show and everything. And I came out and she was already in bed. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
She's-
mine's asleep.
Your wife.
you know, it's exciting. I can hear the scanner in there. I don't listen to it much, but certain nights I do, and to make sure everybody's okay. But anybody that I started out wanted to be a detective and all that. Found out there's a whole lot more to it. I wasn't built for that. Some of the bad stuff.
Right.
And when you listen to a scanner, it brings back flashbacks of being on the radio. But you just don't realize, or I mean, I do, but a lot of people don't realize how much, how important the ambulances and the fire and the police officers and a lot of times there's not anything going on, but then when it is, there's not a lot of people in the community that would want to handle it themselves. So y'all, I got him again.
I'm with you, brother.
Oh.
I totally get all that.
I can't do this like I used to.
And you're so young.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. And if you send a link, if you ever send a link, I guess I got to give somebody my phone number. Y'all got my phone number. I have to give it to Jerry. And
We've got your phone number.
You got it. Yeah, just text me because I won't be able to hear it on Messenger.
Okay.
If y'all saw my Messenger,
Oh, I
it's
know.
unbelievable.
You're
You know-
like,
No.
Well, that's what mine looks like. That's why I'm always exhausted because River
Yeah,
calls in
it's
the
like-
middle of the night.
Yeah, it's like scrolling. I know somebody sent me a message a couple weeks ago, and it's 3 months prior. Like,
Yeah.
where's that at?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Roger.
Yeah.
And
Happy New Year,
All
Roger.
right.
yes.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking to y'all.
Roger.
Happy New Year,
brother.
buddy.
See y'all later.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
Wee.
what'd that add? Wow, we're at 3:30 now.
24
What?
minutes. David.
Oh,
24
wow.
minutes here.
It's only 8:36 here, man. I don't know what's up here.
Oh,
It's okay, Jeff. You'll make it.
River,
You got
River had
this.
New Year's 14 hours ago. We're about to have it.
Yeah.
Then it's Farrakha and Blackie, and then David's in the next 3 hours from now.
He's 2 hours after them.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
This has been a fight to stay awake tonight.
Oh,
It's been actually pretty entertaining. So
It's
I
kind
think
of
so
like
too.
what? I got to think about this for a second. When Chris Farley did Almost Heroes, and he's drinking in the drinking competition, and he's laying in the back of the chair, and he's like, trying
I don't know
not
what
to
you're
pass
talking
out.
I never saw
about.
Almost Heroes.
Oh, is that a movie?
Yeah.
I never saw it. Chris Farley?
Oh, it was hilarious.
yeah, the actor Chris Farley. You know?
Yeah, they were.
I
they-
know.
So I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
that.
it was called Almost Heroes. It was like the
It was a
spin-off
live
of,
cam.
like, Lewis and Clark trying to find the Atlantic or whatever,
That's probably entertaining.
and he was having a drinking competition with the head of the gang that was trying to steal all their stuff, and he's like half passed out, and whoever fell asleep first lost. That was what
I think everybody's in Central and West other than Jeff and I. If you're in
I'll
Eastern
have to
Tennessee,
check that out because I actually never
It's
heard
hilarious.
of it. And I loved Chris Farley. So funny.
Yep.
So effing funny.
So funny.
She said it and you didn't even catch it.
yes, I did.
Didn't.
Yes, I did. I heard it.
Oh,
I didn't.
Almost did. Almost did.
Mm.
I don't know. You guys are getting a lot of compliments on your show tonight.
It has been a great show.
We didn't do anything.
Minus us. I love Phyllis and John. Their experiences and stories,
Mhm.
and John's funny, and Phyllis is.
and no
Huh?
tonight.
What's that?
Yeah, right.
I think we're not supposed
Exactly.
Nothing.
to talk
East Peoria, Illinois. Boy, that's tractor pulling country. Absolutely.
That always makes me think of Family Guy.
Yes, I love Family Guy.
Is that East
Peoria, or whatever
That's
they turn
Peoria.
it. And whatever they.
Peoria?
Oh yeah,
Victoria.
Peoria.
Oh, laddie.
It's something in the mix of that they turn it into on a Family Guy episode.
Look at all the people that are sticking around too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Almost 40. Not
I'm
quite.
glad someone's sticking around because I'm barely here.
We've got some footage of that too.
That deer keeps looking down at you, too.
I had to occasionally get up and walk around. So.
We've been talking. We're going to come up your guys' way here eventually.
Yeah.
We want to do the hook up with you guys and then like hang out for a while and then start coming back down. And Spencer and
Oh,
Right.
Billy.
Del
That
Billy.
deer keeps looking
Billy.
down at you.
Billy's right there.
What'd you say?
I said Billy's not far from Spencer too.
Billy's a good man. I love Billy.
And then,
What's Big Sexy laughing at?
David, we've been talking about coming out to you, but good God, man.
A long ways.
Yeah.
Because
I'd almost
right,
have
you're
to
more-
block for that.
The only
It's
person
more
that's
welcome.
further away than David is River.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
true.
You got to
Yeah.
spend an entire day on a plane to get to River.
It's so
It's
true.
almost a day to get here.
Practically.
How
Yeah.
long is the flight to Australia? Isn't it like?
I don't want to go into the future. That's
Yeah, you're going into the future.
Exactly.
I don't want to get on a plane, really. Period.
And fly
Yeah.
into the future.
No, just getting on a plane. I don't.
we just have
I've
2 or
been on
3
them
planes
before.
crash the other day.
Yeah, that
I
was
flew to
weird.
Louisville a couple times. That was enough.
Oh my God, I'm not a fan.
Now, Louisville's got a short runway. That's no
a
fun.
fan. I am.
That's like you hit the ground and jam the brakes on and hang on.
Oh
When
man,
you get to
I've
Louisville,
flown
it's
to
a short
Texas and
runway.
I've flown to Florida.
I've flown to Alaska and LBL.
Oh my gosh.
Alaska's like
They just
4,000
delivered him right
miles.
to the LBL. They didn't even go to the airport.
How far?
Yeah, we just landed in the LBL. Alaska's like 4,000 miles, I think,
4,000 miles from you?
from there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yep. We drove it.
boy.
We drove it twice too.
What's 4,000 miles from you?
Alaska
LBL or last.
You
He's in
drove it?
Oregon.
from Oregon. Yeah.
And you drove it.
Twice. Yeah. And
Wow.
flew it. We moved there. I drove a little truck with a U-Haul trailer up there and lived up there for like 4 months and drove back.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
The
I
job
dreamed it
didn't
was
work
that far.
out.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
heard
it
it's
was
completely
a lot.
different.
It took a whole week driving night and day to get home.
No. Mm.
Yep.
No thanks.
Poor Jeff. Your eyes just rolled, Jeff. Poor buddy.
Half of me's missing. There we are.
Yeah, I like your background, Jerry.
I just love how occasionally Jerry just gets swallowed up by the back.
Yeah.
He goes
Magic.
and sees River and comes back.
Yeah.
Magic. Yeah. Yeah. That's
He's
what we're doing.
teleporting to Australia. In fact, half of his body's probably in River's living room right now.
Get off me.
Yeah.
Get off
Stop it.
Oh, man.
It's already 2025 for Jerry.
I'm just waiting for River's curtain
It
to
is.
teleport into your background there.
Look at 17
Oh,
more minutes.
Lord.
He took his curtain down. He doesn't have the curtain up anymore. He got tired of curtain doing crazy stuff in his room, so he took it off.
Jerry, is your wife asleep already?
He's been asleep.
Oh, wow.
She's got to work tomorrow. Yeah.
Jeff, where's your girlfriend?
He's at home with her family. With her mom and her 15-year-old.
Greg Ogles is on Texas front porch now.
I watched that yesterday. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's hard for me to watch a lot of shows because some of them I like, and then I start watching other ones. I'm like, why am I even on here? And then I just go fall asleep.
Imagine that. Well,
And you're on a podcast right now where you're like one of the stars. Falling
Yeah.
asleep.
It's been the last couple weeks have been exhausting to say the least.
thanks for being something by, Wendell.
Jeff, I definitely
Bye,
don't hate
Wendell.
when you've fallen asleep because I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
Now,
you
I
guys-
don't know who the researchers were. Anybody got any information on two researchers that
The ones that
Found
died
out.
up there.
Oh,
I know
Not
somebody
you.
that lives here that was friends with him. She's crushed. I can probably find out more from her. She's actually supposed to come over here in my house. I'm going to teach her how to nap. Not nap.
you had a
Jeff.
what?
I was going to say she should be going to Jeff, not you.
Did you say nap?
I
Nap.
was
Like
gonna say, if
Clint
she
nap.
wants advice on napping, I can.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Not nap like Jeff.
Jeff nap.
First, you go like this, and then you go,
Exactly.
and then you close your eyes.
Let me teach you how to nap.
It's really easy.
It's
See?
really.
Jeff's got it perfected.
Oh, he's even Rocky.
Hey, I put my kid to sleep. I can put myself to sleep.
We know this.
We know.
We know it.
Well, I will say
Damn
this:
kids.
you guys didn't have to have us on tonight at all. We were loving the chat and listening to
What's your
Phyllis and
point?
Tommy. That was awesome.
Mm,
They are awesome. But thanks.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
You
very
guys are
much.
awesome.
We
Well,
love
thank
being
you.
with y'all.
Very welcome.
You're my homies, dog. You're my homies.
Dog. Yeah, he's a
Jeff would
trooper.
make a good capper. Oh man.
Hi, Roger.
Wow.
Try not to fall asleep.
Is Roger back in
Wow.
chat?
No. What did I see?
River's a machine on that.
All right.
Are we gonna
So
make it?
within a 12-minute countdown. Here we go. Ready? Here we go.
Looking good.
Will
brother.
he make it to
He's
midnight?
doing the same thing I do. He's like making sure the beard's straight and all.
Okay, we should do a poll. Will he make it or will he not?
Oh gosh. Are we hanging on until the Eastern time?
We'll do the Eastern time.
Midnight?
I'm supposed
Come
to
on,
wake
Jeff,
her
we
up.
can make it Western time, brother.
Oh, you are.
Pacific.
I'm supposed to go wake her up. So
David, you gonna make it
You won't
Western
be on
time
the show?
or Mountain time? What is that? What are you? Are you Pacific time?
Pacific, yeah.
Okay.
Out of my lap.
Whoa.
what?
The
His
dog.
girlfriend must have showed
Oh,
The
Which
dog just
dog?
tried to climb up.
We want to see the dog.
We've seen his dog.
We still want to see the dog now.
Come on. Come on.
your last appearance for 2020.
It's like mixed signals.
You know, are you gonna? No, you're not scratching me. Get now. The whole table's rattling. Do it.
Jeff, tape your eyelids. Katie said, "Jeff, tape your eyelids open."
Somebody told me the other day about Clockwork Orange. I'm like, you haven't seen it? And I'm like, I've seen it. I'm like, you're probably really not missing much. It has a following, but you know what I'm talking about? Clockwork Orange?
Oh, taping the eyes open. Yeah.
Well, kind of taping. Keeping your eyes open.
You had me there. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Watch me get yelled at. Watch it.
Yes, Hillary's awesome.
Stop. What are you doing?
You
Read
call
what,
her.
Read what Hillary said. That is great.
Jeff,
What'd
you
you
need
say,
a
Jeff?
cardboard cutout of yourself wide awake. Laugh. Absolutely.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's work. Can't do that.
If anybody can catch a picture, just catch Jeff laughing. Maybe we can make something out of that.
Uh-oh.
Just post it up there.
Yeah.
Is this like a Ferris Bueller's Day thing?
Oh man.
We got 10 minutes.
Well, then I have a minute
So,
to
David?
chip.
When were you born?
Me?
Yeah.
71.
Okay. So you graduated in 89.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
She thought you were, I think we both kind of thought when you said 89, you were born in 89. I was like, damn, he's even younger. Yeah.
Now, 89 was
He
in
looks
the-
old.
Wake up, Cindy. I know the TV's on in the room. Wake up, woman. Wake
Man.
up.
That's a good
awesome.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Yo, Cindy, wake up.
That's good.
Hey,
Right foot.
yo.
We'll celebrate the new year in anger. Yes.
Anchor.
Stop it.
She
He's
said to wake her
Italian,
up.
watch
so.
out.
My word, yes. Uh-oh.
Now you're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to chip?
A trip. Oh, Chip. Oh, wait. Worm's there.
So good.
Oh, Hillary graduated. Hillary graduated in 89 too.
89. Bunch of kids. Jeez.
Were you 85, Jerry?
Yep.
Yeah. Same here.
Hillary says I need a cardboard cutout to put in place of me.
That's funny.
If we can get a good picture of you with a big smile on your face and yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might need to be more calm than that.
Or maybe a picture of a giant hard-boiled egg.
No,
And then
Nobody
just
noticed.
add his
we're
face
not
to it.
falling for that.
Just put a beard on the egg.
And a hat. Don't forget a hat.
Oh man.
He's done space travel in his egg. He's pork from work.
Pork
Instead of
Oh,
work,
what?
instead of
What?
work from work.
Did you
Pork
say
from
pork
Mork.
from Mork? Oh my god. That's Mork's brother, Pork.
Yeah, pork. Pork from work.
Nanu.
Yeah.
Bacon.
Nanu.
You know, I used to practice that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
You do the other way too?
All right, let's be careful with our fingers now.
Yeah, right.
We're throwing signs
Put
now.
this down, Pat. Wait,
Especially with the black screen going on
I don't
there.
want this to be the last
was
show.
it this one?
I don't know.
We know what that one is.
Yeah. Be nice. Be
Anyway.
nice.
Jesus. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I figured this was safer than the talk Roger and I were having. So.
Jerry,
man.
you know this'll they start trying to what review this one. They're gonna get bored about halfway through it.
Just like let them say whatever they
We'll be
want.
okay.
Just sliding on through at the end.
They're just gonna be
We'll be
like, what
okay.
in the hell is this?
Oh, New Year's resolutions. Does anybody? Hillary says New Year's resolutions.
I
Does
ain't got
anybody
none.
have New Year's resolutions?
No.
No.
Well, other than to let that shit go, I'll try to let that shit
Not by
Erica says she's going to say
that won't happen.
fuck less.
Yeah.
So
I did not say that.
I did not
But
say
maybe in
that.
my mind I said that.
Yeah.
just saying.
Oh,
Please
Lord
don't
calling horse.
No, I did not.
All right. 6 more minutes. 5 and a
I'm
half,
still
probably.
here.
And he's still here.
I'll fall asleep in 5 minutes.
Jeff, you got to go out and pop some rounds off, man, at
I
midnight.
know. I really don't feel like it because then I got to go rummage around in the safe and. Yeah.
How about, is anybody watching the ball drop in the meantime?
Now,
Anybody multitasking?
Hold on. I'm going to show her the ball drop.
yeah.
He's a Balchinian.
Didn't quite drop enough. Sorry. Anyway, just kidding.
I'm old enough. We've been together long enough. No, it's a joke. That's a joke.
Oh, man.
No, we haven't
Wow.
really watched TV for this late. Well, it's not even. Well, that we would have been Eastern time, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of still weird to judge because now we're Central time. But
Hey, yeah, Hillary.
we were Eastern time forever, so
Hillary is hard on her husband, man. Woo.
what?
Hillary is hard on
Oh,
What
man.
happened?
Hillary, that is awesome.
It's rough.
Maybe it's not.
Oh, I see that. I see that.
I'm still
Her
waiting
husband's
for
name
mine.
is
Don't
Jeff
worry.
too.
Hillary.
Good Lord.
Ouch, baby. Ouch. That's not nice.
I got 5 more minutes. I'll be back.
He deserves it.
I got 4 minutes to fall asleep.
I like Jeff's countdown.
Wow.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Why are you
1.
falling asleep before? Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Why are you
Jeff
falling asleep before?
eyelids dropping.
Let's take the shotgun out back and just unload it.
Your neighbors will probably be doing the same thing. It'll be all right.
Oh, you'll hear it out here. I've already heard some gunshots already.
Or fireworks or whatever.
I think they're gunshots.
I don't know.
And then we'll have an hour, but we'll be in bed pretty soon.
Probably. But I don't have to work
I gotta
tomorrow,
eat.
so. I know. I snuck some chips in there.
Hey, girl.
Jeff
Jerry,
did
where'd
it,
Jerry
man. I'm
go?
proud.
It's Cindy.
Oh,
There's people still listening to us.
I know.
It's crazy.
What, 30?
No one has
34?
anything to do. That's why they're here.
stop it.
Exactly.
Wendell's still there. David, check out what I just posted on my page. Of course,
My phone
River's
is like
there. I
dead,
mean,
dead. So
it's probably 3:00 in the afternoon to River.
David, you're so attentive to the chat. I'm like,
I
I
can't
can't
do too many
multitask like
things.
that.
I can't do too many things at one time.
Yeah.
Then everybody thinks I'm asleep because I'm trying to type and
Looking down. That's what it says about Greg. Greg's falling asleep and Greg's on his phone texting.
yeah, that's what. Greg and I operate about the same, so that's
yes,
Wake up at like 3 though, Jeff. I bet you wake up early.
I know.
well. Greg goes to bed at 3. I get up at 3.
Not
Or
smart.
4. Sometimes Greg will still be awake when I get up.
Ugh.
I don't always get up at 3, but it happens most of the time.
Wow. Were you raised that way?
What?
Were you raised that way
Oh yeah.
with
We
the
usually-
farm and everything?
It used to be we'd be up at 3 and start milking at 4. Now we've decided that we're old and that's stupid, so we get up at 4 and start at 5. But we take turns on mornings so we're not all zombies. Oh,
Yeah.
I told our helper she was milking tomorrow morning and I'd be in.
Oh, she was milking tomorrow.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything to do. She lives by herself, so she just.
Aw. Well, then good for you.
Oh. Well, that's what we pay her for.
Mhm.
Can we get a flamethrower?
Yeah, I want one of those.
All right, it's almost time. And where's Jerry?
Hey,
So,
Yeah, he's got to be listening to Jerry.
Jerry!
yeah, so I'm trying to roll into the barn tomorrow at like 6 a.m. I say that, but it probably won't happen.
what'd you
With my luck, I'll end up getting a call that something's broke and I got to go in there earlier.
Yes.
say?
Yeah. Gary. We're going to miss it, Jerry.
Mine shows 9. Mine shows midnight for you guys.
Oh, we just hit midnight. Jerry.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
That was when you
And it's all quiet.
I know, I'm like, you're whistling.
Sorry, I'm trying to text. I'm not good at this. I'm that old one finger.
That's how I text.
Yes.
Make sure I spelled the words right. Yes.
You know how many times I do that?
Woo! There's Jerry.
Jerry. It's
Happy
12.
New Year, Jay!
Happy New Year.
Happy
Now I
New
can hear-
Year.
Happy New Year, Jerry.
That's called staying out of the doghouse.
Yeah, that's right. Happy New Year's on Eastern time, babe.
That's your first lesson on the show for 2025. Now,
Hey, it ain't
neighbors,
my first lesson. Third wife. It's not my first lesson.
Lord of mercy, sounds like a war zone around here.
Does it?
Oh my Lord, there's guns and there's a cannon going off
I
too.
don't hear
I
anything
think I'm
right
the shotgun now because I hear other shots
No.
on fire.
Ah, Hillary. Hillary's funny. Yep.
Oh, that's cute.
Nice, Hillary. That was good.
Jeff, go to bed.
Hi, Jeff. Love ya.
Aw.
Good night.
He's tired.
Good night, Jeff.
I got to get
Love
up
you,
in
brother.
5 hours myself. So.
I'll text you in the effing morning.
Okay.
Wow. Maybe in the effing afternoon instead.
No, I'm going to be awake really
That was
early
quick.
tomorrow.
Well, leave
It's
him
like-
alone. He needs to sleep in if he can.
Nah.
I'm like, we have
You won't
two
sleep.
appointments tomorrow, and it's like, oh, that's great.
All right, kiddos, cats. Happy New Year to y'all.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Same
I got to
to
get up
you
for
guys.
4.5 hours, so 5 hours, whatever.
Well, have fun.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hit the
Thanks
microphone.
again.
bro.
You guys don't have to have us on, but we love it. Thanks.
We love you guys, man. You guys
Yeah,
are
we
awesome.
love y'all.
We love you too. And thanks.
Thank you, audio.
Appreciate it.
Good night. All right. Happy New Year, David. I know you got a couple more hours to go yet, but
Yep.
just so
But
you
that's
know,
it.
here in the East, we're in 2025. So
Well, hey, I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys. That's awesome.
Yes.
here's looking back at you, brother.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'll see you guys. I'll
We
see
should
you
bet
guys in
on
the
you now?
future here in a bit.
Absolutely. Let me know when you get here in the 2025 zone.
I will. I'm gonna hang back for a bit.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back Tuesday. I don't know with
Night,
who.
guys.
We'll be back. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hey, I get to play the outro. No, that's right. I was getting ready to just take it off. We're going to
Already
do this
slacking
right
in
now.
2025.
Did we ever go backstage?
No.
Yeah, he's gone. He actually, you know what? Our show spanned 2 years. We were here for 2024 and left in 2025. Who else can say that tonight?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.